Oh, when it feels like fall, it means only one thing, a big CAA game here on Saturday with Stony Brook and Monmouth. Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you into the press box here at Kessler Stadium. With the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt, I'm Eddie Acapinti, and we welcome you into the broadcast. Brandon London, the third member of our crew, will join us in just a moment. Emery, this has become quite a rivalry between the Seawolves and the Hawks. This is a big game in the CAA.
Very much a big game because, one, if you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, if you're Stony Brook, you have to win this ball game. And if you're Mammoth, if you want to continue to rise up the top 25 in the FCS, very important game here against the Seawolves.
Hawks come in ranked 10th. It was Monmouth that ruined Stony Brook's playoffs chances in this game last season. Seawolves will have that in mind as we take a look at our impact player matchup. Emery, we have two tremendous running backs, the top two in the CAA.
Yep, Roland Dempster is a fantastic tailback. Power is the name of the game. Contact, balance, all of the things that you want to see your back do, he does it in spades. He helps set the pace and the tone and the tempo for this Seawolves offense, and as he goes, so does this football team. He is someone, to me, is a true gem in terms of being in the NFL draft and also how he handles himself around the CAA.
A Peyton Award finalist last season. Dempster really burst on the scene a year ago for Billy Kosh in that turnaround season for the Seawolves. While for Monmouth, we have to look at the #1 running back in the CAA. How good has Rodney Nelson been?
He is outstanding, man. And what we're going to talk about right now is obviously here the speed, the explosiveness, and the ability to hit the home run and take it a distance. But what he has grown and has shown this year is power within this game. He's the goal line runner. He's someone that is able to get those tough yards as well. We used to see another back come in the red zone and handle those duties. It's been Rodney Nelson all season long. And this is someone, again, is flirting with 1,000 yards. We may see him cross that today, but how well he's been running the football.
During the week, the smile on Emery's face when we said we were going to talk running backs, that's what it looked like right there. The former University of Louisiana running back, excited as we all are for this great game on homecoming from Monmouth after this timeout. Welcome you back to just a beautiful afternoon here in West Long Branch. In season number 33 for Monmouth, Kevin Callahan maybe has one of his best Hawks teams ever to date. While Emery on the other sideline, Billy Kosh is 33 years old in his second season at Stony Brook, doing a great job.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job in year one, which set the table for what we're seeing now. I know it's not an undefeated season or a ranked season, but they are still playing really good football throughout the course of the season. So I'm excited to see how the remaining parts of year two ends with Billy Kosh, but we know what we're getting from Coach Callahan, who's been phenomenal.
5-1, this Monmouth team, 2-0 in CAA play. Only lost to FBS Charlotte earlier this season, and Monmouth up to number 10 in the national rankings, number 9 midweek when you look at FCS playoffs. This team, if they meet their potential, Emery, looking at a potential first-round bye in the FCS playoffs.
And we'll talk about this a lot throughout the course of the broadcast on what makes this team different than other playoff Monmouth teams that we've seen, because there is something different about this particular unit. And I am so excited about them and how they finished this year and what lies ahead for them in the postseason, because they're definitely going to get to the postseason. We're just going to see how far they're going to go in the postseason.
Energy in the air as we are ready to kick off another CAA football Saturday. Thank you for making Emery, myself, our producer Andrew Kurtz, And the third member of our crew, Brandon London, part of your football weekend, everyone. It'll be Monmouth and the nation's #1 offense to possess the football first. You'll learn a little bit more about their all-everything quarterback, Derek Robertson, as we will say hello to Super Bowl and Grey Cup champion wide receiver. Let's send it down to Brandon London.
As a wide receiver, these are two quarterbacks that if you sweat your technique, they'll bless your technique. And I'll start with Derek Robertson. Eddie, I told you earlier that he reminded me of my UMass quarterback, now Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen. They're very precise with where they put the football, and they get you the football depending on your skill set. On the flip side, when we're talking about Chris Zealous, if you apply the technique to where a play is never over because he can extend the play and create extended time with his legs. A low guy go high, high guy go low, and then that's going to be able to make some plays on the outside of the perimeter. Both these guys, two really good quarterbacks with different skill sets.
Brandon, thank you. We'll check back in on the field with Brandon London momentarily, as that was Rodney Nelson, first carry of the game, tackled by Joseph Garcia. But Emery, this Monmouth offense these last few weeks tilting a little bit more towards the run, and just how great Nelson's been.
Yeah, Nelson has been phenomenal, especially running in between the tackles. He's not a perimeter-only guy. He's a guy that can do it all, work inside the tackle, outside on the perimeter, and also hits the home run like you want him to.
Give it right back to Nelson. Breaks one tackle, keeps his feet over the 45-yard line for the nation's #1 rusher, averaging over 144 yards a game.
Monmouth loves to get back on the ball, and sometimes they go fast, sometimes they just sit there and hold to where you can't substitute. Here's they're going fast right now.
Robertson, first pass is to Nelson. He'll try to make a man miss on the flat. That's a really nice job running him out of bounds by one of the Stony Brook defenders, and a versatile one in that in Chase Chalmers.
And what happens when you're not able to substitute right away? It forces you to keep that same personnel out there, and sometimes, or a lot of times, Monmouth may find a tell, like, hey, okay, we like this matchup that they have on the field. Now let's go up tempo, let's hold the ball, and keep them on the field with that same group of guys they have out there.
Yeah, really, both offenses, I think, are at their best when they string together drives, keep the opposing defense at bay. Here's Robertson, long throw towards the sideline. That's pulled down for another first down. He finds his favorite target in Josh Derry.
We always talk about Derek Robertson throughout the course of a broadcast: touch timing, anticipation, accuracy. He is phenomenal. Again, don't look at where he is playing. This is an NFL quarterback you're watching out there, folks.
The numbers are just mind-boggling for Robertson. Over 2,200 yards, almost 380 yards a game. It leads the nation in all of those categories, plus 24 touchdowns. Rifling one here, back shoulder, and a little too hot intended for Derry.
When you have a dead ball, if you're Stony Brook, this is your time to substitute. We saw a guy come in. We see guys running in and out right now. This is what the benefit of getting those negative plays, or those no-gain type plays, versus this Monmouth offense. And right now we're seeing Monmouth go tempo, but not pace. They're just making sure they get on the ball, stay along the line of scrimmage, because they can snap the football at any time.
Second down and 10 after the first incompletion of the afternoon for Derek Robertson. Back to throw again. He's going to look up top and not on the same page with Derry, a little too far in front of him. Good coverage on the play by Stony Brook's top cover corner and the redshirt sophomore Miles McGoy.
What you saw right there from Miles McGoy is someone that's 6'4", 170 pounds. So again, has that full confidence of his size out there on the perimeter. He's going to use that sideline as his friend. You saw him there, just kind of wall the receiver off to the side, made it a tough throw for Robertson. So already we're seeing back-to-back good defensive stops, or good pressures from the secondary against this explosive receiving core.
This Seawolves defense, one of the better units in the CAA. It'll be a challenge for this Monmouth offense this afternoon, as Robertson has time to throw on the money. Delivers a first down strike to Gavin Nelson.
Watch the pocket that he had right there. You saw a nice view set up for him to step in, step firm, and fire a dart over the middle of the field for a first down. That's a nice chunk play on 3rd and long.
Stony Brook, who had been playing tight coverage on the outside, that time went to more of a zone look. Robertson again has Nelson, has his first touchdown of the afternoon, and Mammoth is on the board.
We're not just exaggerating when we're talking about this offense and being one of the best in the country. It is a top passing offense, a top scoring offense, but it's plays like that, man. That was a tightly covered route, and you saw Robertson just fire the football where it needed to be with the right amount of velocity, and that's how you get a touchdown. Great protection up front, nice dart on the bang 8 route. Brandon has run that a couple times in his career for a score, just like we saw right there by your outstanding receiver in Gavin Nelson.
When we saw that replay, you know when that route was won right at the snap. He had such a great release, created so much separation, not even 2 yards off the line of scrimmage.
I think that's where people forget why Monmouth is so explosive. All of those receivers can win one-on-one. It's like a basketball team where they're watching, you know, ISO ball. And this is what these guys do. Each one of these guys, whether you're big or small, can win one-on-one. And if you can win immediately off the line of scrimmage, the rest is easy peasy, especially when you have a quarterback as accurate as Derek Robertson.
You just, I think, described it perfectly, right? It's a team that has 5 guys that can shoot, score, pass.
Right.
Which receiver are you going to try and take away? We saw great coverage on Derry, and then what do you get? Back-to-back throws to Nelson for a score.
And at some point, Derry's going to win his battle, and he's going to be open as well. And that's the problem it presents for an opposing secondary. You don't have enough corners. And if you have one good cover guy, which we saw right there for Miles McGoy on the opposite side, okay, who else is going to step up? Because Mama's going to find their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth, and even their 6th receiver, which is the running back in the passing game.
We didn't even mention Trey Neal and Jack Neary at the tight end spot. TJ Spate, it really is an embarrassment of riches for Monmouth. It's remarkable, but all these players put up numbers and they get their own.
Everybody eats. I love the paid in full reference right there for this receiving corps because no one is unselfish. They get the job done out there on the field every time we see them against an opponent.
Ensuing kickoff, and one of the better kickoff returners in the league is Jace Freeman. And with more on the Seawolves starter Chris Zealous, let's send it back down to Brandon.
Emery, you said everybody eats, and the guy that's been eating is Chris Zealous. Eddie, we talked to Coach Kosh earlier in the week, and he continues to praise Zealous on how he continues to get more comfortable week in, week out. But playing with a quarterback like that who uses his mobility, as a wide receiver, you know that because he can extend a play, you're never dead on a route or a route concept. So look alive because that ball is coming.
One of the numbers, and thank you, Brandon, that you didn't see in that graphic, Zealous is the 2nd leading quarterback rusher in the CAA behind William & Mary's Tyler Hughes at almost 300 yards up to this point in the season. But just like we highlighted Nelson, Dempster has been fantastic. Gets the first carry for Stony Brook series.
That's where the challenge is going to be for Monmouth that Stony Brook presents itself. How much can you tackle consistently in space versus a physical run game?
Here's Zealous. He'll be patient. And he's been better as a passer the last 4 games than he was earlier in the season as he's gotten more comfortable in this offense. But he can extend plays and make plays with his legs.
And that's why I said physical run game and not physical running back. Because, yes, he's physical, but the run game itself is physical. They'll spread you out. And as you saw right there, QB power. So they'll run power with their quarterback, power with their tailback. You have to match their level of physicality up front and also in the backfield.
This is an area where Stony Brook offensively has struggled, only converting 32% of their 3rd downs. Now, this is a much more reasonable 3rd down at 3rd and 2. They'll give it up the middle. And Dempster looks to be stopped initially. And where they walk in the spot, looks like he'll be close to a yard short.
They don't mind going for it because they know what's on the other side, an explosive offense. So you got to maximize these possessions. They're physical up front along the line of scrimmage.
Seawolves offense will stay on the field. Zealous will take a look and get a signal. Plenty of time on the play clock on their first offensive possession. Zealous and Dempster. Here is Dempster. Head down. He didn't get it. Well, the Mammoth defense stands up early in the 1st quarter.
It's a great job, Rob. Brendan Bigos, 6'4", 280, the redshirt junior. He was in on that stop, made sure they didn't get any type of push or momentum. What an answer right there for Mammoth defense, because this is a very physical point of attack team. in Stony Brook. And what Stony Brook does really well, it just permeates throughout the course of their offense. Not just physical within the run game, but also physical on the perimeter and physical up front. This is just a win right there for Monmouth defense. They didn't get pushed back behind the, off the line of scrimmage, off the point of attack. Won that rep and ultimately got them off the field. Now you put that explosive offense back on it.
In excellent field position at the Stony Brook 41. The Seawolves want to be physical and run the football. And Monmouth with an early defensive stop. Robertson right back to the air. Nice move on the outside by TJ Spate, and he'll have a first down.
Tried something different there by playing off coverage. But man, you put your fate in your hands. You're playing off coverage against these wide receivers.
It was Trey Neal on the outside as they go back to Nelson, shifty, and he'll put the head down forward for another gain. You know, when there's so many different receivers you could throw out there, we mentioned it, it's Spate, it's Nelson, it's Derry, it's Neal, it's Maxwell James. I don't have enough room on my chart here.
Yeah, you don't have enough bodies on defense because they can beat you with speed, and speed wears you down physically and mentally because you get tired of chasing these fast guys around, and once you're mentally tired, it manifests itself into physical mistakes out there on the field.
It's Derry in motion. Robertson gonna give to Nelson, and the Stony Brook defense with a nice answer. Bottom of that pile, a variety of players, including a cornerback. That's A.K. Kamara in at the bottom.
One thing I've always appreciated about Stony Brook's personnel, no matter who's the coach, they're going to always keep good corners. They're going to always keep a good edge guy. They're going to always have a great running back. And we've seen that time and time again with the Stony Brook program, and this year's team is no different.
So after the fourth down stop for Mammoth defensively, now they face 3rd and 5. Robertson going to give it to Nelson. Runs into a wall up front. Did move forward for a bit, but a very minimal gain. It'll bring up 4th and about 4.
Daishier Clary, the nose tackle, is the one that made that play. He created a pile-up up front and got enough on the interior in terms of push to make Rodney Nelson not have a clean pathway to the first down and cause that issue to where he allowed his teammates to rally up and make that tackle. So that's a great job by your nose tackle if you're Stony Brook.
Monmouth keeps the offense on the field, 4th and 4, and they're going to spread the field with 4 wide receivers. Robertson going to look to throw, has his man, Derry breaking tackles, staying on his feet, Josh Derry will score. What an individual effort for Josh Derry.
Guys, I'm just going to let you know right now, I ain't going to hold you. Josh Derry is 5'9", 175. He broke those tackles like he was 6'4", 230. That's the type of want-to you want to see from your receiver. That was a high-leverage situation, talking about 4th down. You got to have it. He caught the football in traffic, sustained the hit, coming from 2 defenders, broke that tackle, broke another, and the speed is going to help him get to the end zone right there. That's an emphatic way to score a touchdown. It lets the other side know that you're not going to be pushed around today.
Takes confidence to go for it in that area of the field. I don't know if there's a more confident offense in the country than Monmouth.
Monmouth trusts their offense like I trust this water that I'm drinking during the broadcast, because at the end of the day, man, you need that to lean on. It was outstanding.
What a start for the best offense in the nation. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, including this highlight reel catch and run for Josh Derry. Monmouth is off and running on homecoming Saturday. Into the end zone, Derry showing out and showing up in a big game.
Could have let that roll.
one of the leading receivers in the nation. 19-yard receiving touchdown for Josh Derry as Monmouth now leads 14-0.
And that 14 is significant. We always talk about how do you defend or compete against a team like Mammoth that scores virtually every time they have the football. Anytime you lose a possession or two, or possession for yourself against Mammoth, you're going to be down 2 scores. And now it's a track beat, and that's what you don't want to get into.
Well, here is Jace Freeman breaking into the open field. Freeman with one man to beat. Turns on the Jets. Jace Freeman scores. What an answer for the Seawolves.
Speaking of track meet, that's how you answer emphatically if you're Stony Brook. You find a big play on special teams. Just an amazing job by your return specialist. Just outstanding, Jace Freeman. And again, what's so unique about him is rare you see someone 6'4", 225 returning kickoffs. That speaks volumes of what he has in terms of speed, acceleration, explosiveness. You see right there coming right to your living room. Once he hit that break, it's all she wrote. He was not going to get caught by the kicker. Valiant effort, though. But, man, Jace Freeman did a fantastic job. We talked about physicality. That was a physical return by a physical receiver disguised as a kickoff returner in terms of Jace Freeman. So now you got yourself right back in it. But here's the thing. We talked about the point spread and the point differential in terms of Monmouth getting up 2 scores because they got 1 stop. That's how you answer. You got to find big plays. Now you got to maintain that type of approach. Not necessarily bringing back all these kickoffs, but you got to maintain the, hey, we can answer when we have the opportunity. You got to find those opportunities and take full advantage of them.
Yeah, it's very much a basketball kind of late game attitude, right? With the way Monmouth plays, if they get 1 stop, they feel like they have an advantage. It's the end of a playoff game in the NBA, right? Man, if we get 1 stop, we know we're going to score on the other end. That approach, I feel like, is very 2025, but it's also the way this team's been the last 4 or 5 years, Emery, with how powerful the offense is. They feel like they're 1 turnover, 1 stop, which they got on a 4th down, away from creating all the distance they need.
This year's team feels different, though, in terms of them scoring. It feels like they legitimately score every time they got the ball. I know I've called some punts here during the season, but I can't remember any. That's how many they score. So to see some team like Stony Brook come in and answer right away, that's big. It's big for their morale. It's big for them long term.
Well, absolutely. As an extra point from Enda Kirby is good. That was Michael Menino. They bring in the freshman kicker for that extra point. And you said it, a big answer. And he wasn't touched this first wave through, and then you see the speed.
Right, and it's a strong speed, we like to call it, because he's such a big receiver. And so he's building that momentum, that power, that explosiveness. Is like a locomotive going down the field. And so once he hit top speed, he's able to leg it out because he's so tall. And this is what I refer to when we're talking about how the physicality for Stony Brook, it just isn't about the run game, but also the receivers as well. They got big receivers across the board, so they are not afraid to play the physical game. They actually want to play the physical game, and they feel comfortable and confident in doing so, and that's an example right there, albeit a kickoff return.
So the 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown from Jace Freeman gets Stony Brook on the board, and you made a great point, partner, gets them back energized after falling back 2 scores. This kickoff will go over the head of Monmouth's TJ Spate, and you'll again get to see the best offense in the country scoring at over 44 points a game and leading the nation with this number. And I want you to turn your TV or computer up for this number. 554 yards per game on offense. It's remarkable as Derek Robertson leads his unit out. They're 2 for 2 today, scoring touchdowns.
And they've shown they could drive the ball down the field and get scores, or hit you with a quick play and get a score. So they also can play any type of game you want to.
Empty backfield look, and Nelson, they were trying to set up screen to him, wasn't able to corral it. Nelson has improved as a receiver this season already with 19 catches. Unable to pull that in. You don't see a lot of 2nd and 10s, I feel like, for this Monmouth offense.
Not at all.
$7:41 to go, first quarter. It's 14-7 to Monmouth. Big play, blown up in the backfield. And the Seawolves defense standing up, forcing 3rd and long as they bring down Elijah Jennings.
Jennings had nowhere to go. Just great team defense right there by Stony Brook. You saw them shift with the motion. So they kind of had a key on what was going on. They played the run on the way to the quarterback, and rather than trying to get pressure on Robertson, they found the running back and got him down on the ground. Just a great job by their interior defensive line and backers to clean up the play.
It was the redshirt senior Franco Milano to blow that play up at the point of attack. 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 for Robertson. Going to continue to air it out on the money. What a throw to Derry. Another Monmouth touchdown. They are in the zone.
Outstanding throw by Derek Robertson. And is there a penalty flag down? We're going to see the refs huddle and talk right here. We'll see that maybe coming back.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And the air deflates out of Kessler Stadium with the illegal formation penalty.
That is one where you're going to see a receiver not on the line of scrimmage. I know that frustrates offensive coordinators because the receivers generally check with the referee on the side, like, hey, am I good, am I on? So that really is on the receiver. That's not a formational thing. You have to make sure you check to see if you're good to go. But what a throw. I know it doesn't count, but man, you talk about 3rd and long, need to have it. He throws a dart over the middle of the field.
Wipes away a 75-yard touchdown right down the seam. Now back to 3rd and 15. Robertson, pocket gonna collapse around him, and he'll be dropped. It's A.J. Roberts, the linebacker, and the Stony Brook defense, by virtue and help of that penalty, a big stop.
This series, we saw the interior defensive line do a great job, and now we're seeing the edge do a fantastic job. They played push versus pressure. They collapsed around Robertson. He's not the most mobile guy, so if you can beat him to the spot, you got a great chance of getting him on the ground, and just a fantastic job of showing that speed and power combining to get the sack by A.J. Roberts.
And he is playing excellent football. In their last 2 games, both big Seawolves wins. 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Add a total to that. The graduate student linebacker playing excellent football. A big stop for Stony Brook as they get the football back. Down 14-7, 6:01 to go in the first quarter.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub of...
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Black Bear Nation, let's ride.
Go Tigers.
We are Hampton U.
As one.
Fly Hawks.
Top the rock, baby.
Hey, Geek Pride. Roll Hawks, baby.
Phoenix Rising.
3 more feet.
Go Pride.
Go Dogs.
One team, one heart.
A veteran Stony Brook team, Emory, and they're getting great contributions from A.J. Roberts.
You see right there, just a fantastic job of knowing how to close. That's one underrated element of pass rushing knowing how to close. You can get back there, but you have to be able to finish, and does a great job in doing that, just like he did here. He won with power, got off the block, got Robertson on the ground. Now they've regained the advantage by equalizing or equaling out the possessions. Big time stop right there for Stony Brook.
A great point. When it was 14-0, you were mentioning it, that Monmouth had the advantage plus for this great offense with a 14-0 lead. But after a kickoff return for a touchdown and a defensive stop, now the Seawolves have it in excellent field position here on first down. Zealous try to hit Dempster out of the backfield, and they're unable to connect.
2 drops by backs so far in this ball game, 1 on each team. So obviously, I'm not happy. Don't need to see that from the backs. Got to be an asset in the passing game. Catching the football is paramount.
Yeah, we spent all this time. We've got the top 2 backs in the league. Here we go, and they've each put it on the ground once. Here's second down for Zealous, the graduate student transfer from Hampton University. Zealous watches the play break down, and that's when he's at his best. Near first down yardage for the quarterback. It will be a first down.
That's the underrated element. It makes it an 11-on-11 game, and that's one offensive advantage they have over Mammoth in terms of the quarterback being a +1 in the run game. And when things break down, you're dropped back in coverage trying to cover these wide receivers, and this quarterback sees an open lane. He's going to take it every time.
You've made the point a few times that I feel like each Stony Brook position player we talk about is big and physical. Well, Zealous is no different, 6'3", 225. You're going to swing it out wide. And has room in front. Good tackle on that side of the field, but Des Williams will have a first down.
And Des Williams is 6'2", 215. So the reason why this is important is because when you get the short passes to these receivers, they turn into physical runners. So you have to be able to tackle consistently. We talked about that earlier in the first quarter. How often, how many times are you willing to tackle one-on-one in space?
Good drive going for Stony Brook. A couple of first downs. They motion Dempster in. They'll keep it on the ground. And here's another physical run. Dempster breaking through tackles. Another broken tackle. And a first down for Dempster. That was here's the word again, physical run.
It embodies the whole Stony Brook program. You talk about physicality on both sides. Look at the offensive line. They straight mowed this defense in front of Mammoth down the field 5 yards. The entire offensive line got significant push to where Dempster's job was so easy, and then he saw what he did when he got outside past the line of scrimmage. He's breaking multiple tackles in an emphatic, physical way.
About 4 broken tackles and 1 lost shoe on that play for Dempster, who gets tied up over there on the sideline. They're going to keep it on the ground. Here is Ikaika Ragsdale, and Ragsdale with another physical run. He's close to first down yardage. It'll be first and goal, Stony Brook.
And he's 220 pounds, so shout out to Coach Kosh for what he has done in terms of recruiting, developing, and get these guys to play this style of ball. And you don't just get that style of ball by having just run-of-the-mill guys. You need physical guys. Shout out to their strength and conditioning program as well, because they have imposed their will so far on his drive.
They'll keep it on the ground to Ragsdale. And he'll have a minimal gain brought down by Spencer Kishbaugh for Monmouth. You know, Ragsdale is an experienced player too, had a good career that was ultimately cut short by injury at North Texas. But he's got some big-time experience and a nice addition to this team's backfield.
And this is an experienced group. You see a lot of redshirt juniors, seniors, and graduates. So they've played a lot of football. I know that's a running joke right now in college football, but it matters when you see how it manifests itself out there on the field today.
And it did, right? They were down 14-0 and they didn't blink.
Nobody panicked.
Second down and goal. Dempster back in. It'll be Zealous to keep it. And the quarterback dives into the end zone, lost the football. It's loose. Did he score first before it came out? Well, the initial call is going to be touchback. The question's going to be, did Zealous break the plane first before he lost the football?
And receiver Nolan Silva.
Fumble prior to the runner getting into the end zone. Ball went out of the back, touchback.
Who tried to save the possession is down injured in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he's down in the end zone, but let's take another look. So Zealous is going to dive in, and it is close.
Very close. That's not a good angle we have right there, because we need that sideline view, because we don't know when the ball crossed before he got into the end zone.
Well, the good news is that Nolan Sluka is up and walking off the field. See if we can see here. It'll be on that far side. You know, from that angle, it looks like a touchdown.
It looks like a touchdown.
Because watch when Zealous lands and loses it, he's already kind of where that lettering is, and that's about 3 yards into the end zone. He just has to get.
Oh, that angle again. And the ref has a great angle in looking at it. So it's tough because we don't know, and you can't really piece the angles together because you need the one definitive one. But it looks like they're going to let this stand.
That is a tough break for Stony Brook and a big play for Monmouth defensively.
Monumental inflection point in this ball game. So make sure you put a pin in that and come back to it, because they're going to give this ball to Mammoth, and he was going in for a touchdown. Huge play in this ball game.
We have seen in just one quarter big momentum swings. Here's the push pass to Derrick, ultimately swarmed by a handful of Stony Brook defenders, including their leading tackler Anthony Forelli and Rodney Falk. Yeah, you're right. We got to put an asterisk next to that minute, because we thought we had a tie game.
Right, and this is a huge drive for Monmouth, because you want to see how they handle getting punched in the mouth.
Watching Stony Brook just physically go down the field before that play ended in a fumble. Now another big play for Stony Brook defensively. Sebastian Regis tying up Nelson and bringing up the second consecutive 3rd and long.
Regis was there, as well as A.G. Roberts, whose name we've called a couple of times, but just Roberts because he set a nice physical edge, which forced the running back to stop in his tracks, try to work back across formation. And by that time, you had a pack of Seawolves traveling to the football to get him down on the ground.
Yeah, I couldn't see Roberts. Here's why. He was working through a blocker and still made the play.
He closed the door on the perimeter, made that play tough for the running back to try to gain yards.
And he is playing a great first quarter. Robertson, on-time delivery for another first down to Derrick.
Derrick's been big on 3rd downs in terms of finding the open zone, settling down, and making himself available for the pass. And just another completion on the 3rd down situation for Derrick Robertson. This offensive line has to respond to the challenge that we've seen being set by Stony Brook. They're starting to win a lot more up front and making that pocket a lot more muddy than Robertson is ever used to having it so far in the season.
Yeah, Stony Brook 3-3, but don't be fooled by that record. They've won 3 of their last 4. Their first loss of the season was to San Diego State, who, by the way, is 5-1 and a great team in the FBS. Physical on the outside and a flag. Yeah, it was some hand fighting out there with Stony Brook corner Cam Johnson and Derry.
Yeah, San Diego State is a physical 5-1, physical undefeated team. They are legitimate, the best team in Mount West, in my opinion.
Interference, defense, number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, I'll put you on the spot then. Who's the group of 5 team that's getting to the playoff? Is it them or USF?
It might be UNLV if they can win a day against Boise State. They're 13.5-point underdogs to Boise State. And they're one of the best teams in the country. So it's one of those two. But UNLV looks like an absolute wagon offensively.
So that Aztecs team that defeated Stony Brook, since then, 3 of their last 4 for Stony Brook, and you can see why. I know that penalty there, but a physical, as we've been saying, football team. Here's Robertson. Gonna throw short to his tight end, Neary. And after blocking initially, Neary will pick up a couple of yards.
Shout out to Jack Neary for not trying to do the old traditional stereotypical tight end jump over the defender. Like, save that for a high leverage moment. So I appreciate him just getting the tackle, getting the ball, getting the reception, get what he can in terms of yardage.
Monmouth going quickly. Here's the give to Nelson, and Stony Brook defensively has had answers all quarter for Rodney Nelson. That was a variety of players. Chalmers, Clary, Forelli in on the play.
Dashir Clary is having himself a ball game. He is winning consistently on the inside, and if you get interior pressure like that, like he has versus the spread offense, it's going to make things very difficult to find any semblance of consistency as we wrap up the first quarter.
Momentum swings each way in this first quarter, and after 15 minutes, Monmouth leads Stony Brook 14-7. Now we welcome you back to West Long Branch. Beautiful Saturday, homecoming. You know it's a big game as well when the commissioner of the CAA, Joe D'Antonio, joins us. How are you, Mr. Commissioner?
I'm great. Thanks for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Well, it's a pleasure. Once we saw this was on the itinerary, we knew it was a big game, an important game, well-traveled. I know you get up and down the eastern seaboard, but how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. I mean, what a day. Homecoming right at Monmouth. 60 degrees, the sun's out, people are happy. What a day here.
Beautiful day and a great game so far between two teams that really are having great the last couple of seasons. We know what Stony Brook did last year with a great turnaround. They're playing consistent football. Monmouth number 10 in the country. As you look at the landscape of CAA football, how do you assess it through about a month and a half?
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, obviously you always have some games you'd like to have back, maybe in the win column that we didn't get, but for the most part, a very successful start to the season. And as you just mentioned, you're seeing two of the marquee teams here today.
Two of the marquee teams, and Emory, like you and I have talked about, these two teams, URI, Villanova, the depth of talent in this league, I know something we're always so impressed with.
Right, and it's top to bottom when you think about the teams that have been added and also the teams that have been long stays here. What are your thoughts on how those teams that have recently come into the league have been performing as well on a national scale?
Well, folks have acclimated really well. I mean, all you have to do is look at what Monmouth's done, right, is in terms of coming into the league, and they've had a lot of success. What I have found interesting, and you guys know the history a little better than I do, and I'm not going to be able to cite all the statistics, but I think Monmouth, when they've made different jumps to different conferences, isn't like a 4 or 5 year window and they're winning a conference championship, right? And we're right in that range right now. So, you know, give Coach Callahan a ton of credit. You know, the offense is obviously spectacular. You guys see it week in and week out. It's unbelievable.
And the respect that they have, the conference has on the national scale in terms of FBS. Teams do not really want to play CAA squads because there's a chance that in some cases we have seen that proven to be true. They'll go out there and get beat.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're right. You're right about that. And we had a great win this year. You know, Bryant, new team to our conference. Coach Merritt's doing a great job up there, and they went up and got a win at UMass. Really big win for them and for our conference. Anytime we can beat an FBS program, feather in your cap.
Well, and all you have to do is look back a season ago to this Monmouth team that scores again. Robertson to Trey Neal for the touchdown. When Monmouth went down to FIU and got a big win there, I know you love it. The consistency that this league is competitive week to week, both in the conference and out. It's what makes it so special.
You're right. And you know, I like to use the term committed to being successful. And what we have in the conference, and it's not going to happen week in and week out for every single school, right? It's sports. You're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. But what I know behind the scenes is right now, every program that we have in the conference and FCS football is committed to being successful. And that's something to be said about that, especially in this new NIL era that we're in.
Yeah, and it's something that as we take another look at that replay, Robertson's third touchdown pass of the first half to Trey Neal, it's something like you said, when you go to these different campuses and you see the schools and the administrations all working for that same goal. I know that's something that the league, you use the word united very often in this conference. I know it feels that way when you see everything happening at all these different campuses.
Yeah, you know, our tagline is united and excellence, and I believe that. We have nobody that's going through the motions. Nobody. Everybody wants to be successful, committed to being successful, and you're seeing it play out on the field that way.
How often do you find that to be true, or were some programs in the course of your illustrious career give you just lip service in terms of like, oh yeah, we're committed, but no, I feel like it rings true in this conference?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate, Emery. I haven't had a lot of stops in my career. I worked at Providence College, I worked at the Big East, and I work now in the CAA. I've been very fortunate in my career not to really have experienced any, if any, very slim scenarios related to lip service. So I'm proud to be able to say that the schools and the entities that I've had a chance to work with have been indeed committed to being successful. I think, though, what you're going to see as institutions start to prioritize things in this new NIL era, you're going to see scenarios where programs are going to have sports, but are they actually going to be committed to being successful in all those sports, because the dollar is causing issues. And we'll kind of see how that plays out. But I don't have that concern in the CAA. Very proud of our schools, very proud of our athletic directors, our presidents. We have a tremendous group of men and women that are leading our schools. You have two of the folks right here, President Leahy, Jen Sansevero. They are committed to success, and that's what you want in your program.
As we speak with the commissioner of the CAA, Joe D'Antonio, here in our second quarter with Monmouth leading Stony Brook 21-7. You mentioned that commitment to excellence, the commitment to competitive, and I think we see that here in the other fall sports as well. We also have the chance to cover soccer and everything else, and to see how tightly contested all those races are. That's what makes this league so great. You look in those standings, right? One or two games always going to separate a handful of teams at all year, whether it's here at football or on those other fields, and it always makes for fantastic championships.
No question. We're coming right down to that nitty-gritty time, right? All the fall sports are going to culminate. We're going to start with our cross-country championship, and then we're going to roll into women's soccer, men's soccer, field hockey, and volleyball. And as you just mentioned, it's a battle for the top right now in all of those sports to make a determination as to who's going to make the playoffs and who's going to succeed from there.
And in those other sports, with divisions now being in play, it makes for a fascinating end of seasons with teams jockeying for position.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest there. We weren't quite sure how the divisional system was going to work. Obviously put it in play for efficiency as we move forward here in a different era of college athletics. I credit our athletic directors, SWAs, and presidents with being on board, with being forward-thinking, of thinking, okay, we can't just do status quo isn't going to work, right? We need to find some ways to be more efficient in what we're doing. And I think the divisional system, while not perfect, is working. And as you just mentioned, we're seeing a lot of exciting races here as teams jockey to get into the playoffs.
I know right now we tend to focus on, okay, what's next with the conference? And I know this is a difficult landscape, or unique landscape, for student athletes, for commissioners and conferences. But when you look at the CAA, are you still fielding, interest from other universities? What you can or can't say, but other universities interested in either moving up or trying to join what you guys have built? Because this is a very good foundation you guys have here.
Well, this is what we know today, right? Today we know. Today we know that the full member CAA has 13 institutions. Okay, I will tell you that interest in the CAA does indeed remain, and we're going to continue to make decisions from a membership standpoint that are going to be in the best interest of the conference going forward. It's always something that we're looking at, studying, and focused on.
And it's what has made and makes the CAA such a great league. Like you said, having that success, but also continuing to have that eye moving forward, it's what makes, you've said it, right, this uncertain time in college athletics. The certain that we know is this league is going to be competitive week in and week out, regardless of the sport. It's what makes Emery's and mine's job so much fun, because we know whenever we show up on a Saturday or any day of the week that it's going to be a great day, and really have to give all the credit to you and your staff for the work you do in ensuring that.
Well, I appreciate you giving me and our staff the credit, but I'm going to give the credit back to our institutions. And this is a team effort. None of this happens in isolation. I will say we are very fortunate at the conference office to have a really good staff. Right? We're not huge. We only have 16 employees, but everybody works really hard. We say every day that the main goal every day is to service the membership at the highest level possible. But it's a true team effort. I mentioned President Leahy and Jen Sansevero a minute ago. We're fortunate across our conference to have great men and women positioned in our leadership roles. ADs, presidents, chancellors, SWAs, we're incredibly fortunate, and that's what makes this conference go, is the people.
Well, we're fortunate for your time. That's the commissioner of the CAA, Joe D'Antonio, joining us. Be right back.
Great news! World Subaru in Tinton Falls is now Circle Subaru. The Circle name has been a pillar in the Monmouth County automotive community for 4 generations. You've loved us before. Now we're bigger and better than ever with our Circle Subaru VIP program, with complimentary oil changes, tire rotations, service loaner cars, and much more. Plus, we continue to support our local community and Monmouth University athletics. Go Hogs! Circle Subaru, proud member of the Circle Motor Group, Shrewsbury Avenue in Tinton Falls. Visit circlesubaru.com.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
We again want to thank the commissioner of the CAA, Joe D'Antonio, for joining Emery and I. While he was up here, you saw that Mammoth touchdown to make it 21-7, and now a 2nd and 6 for Stony Brook. Here is Zealous, going to keep it on the ground, going to break a tackle, going to have a first down on another good Stony Brook drive. Emery, first of all, great time with the commissioner, always giving of his time, and quite frankly, his information. He'll just shoot you straight.
Which I appreciate wholeheartedly, because it's a tough question to ask and answer in terms of who's coming in the league. Yep. Are you reaching out to teams? And he always gives you exactly what you ask for without going over the top and not putting himself in a bind. And I love that about him.
Zealous, back to throw. Looking up top, has a man just too far in front. Oh, he was looking for Des Williams, and he missed him.
And that's the plays we were talking about, that, hey, if you're a team facing Mammoth, you got to make the plays that present themselves, the opportunities that present themselves. This was a double move, a nice stop and go. This is a touchdown. You got to hit this if you're Stony Brook. You may not get that look again, and you have to take full advantage of these types of opportunities. But when you talk about the physical nature of their game, how many times we've seen them, or you've said, broken tackle, breaks a tackle. That's what this is about. That's why these drives for them is all about the long game, wearing them down.
Snap goes over the head of Zealous. Oh, and he has to go onto the other side of midfield to retrieve it. And a game that hasn't seen a lot of mistakes has one.
So this is the perfect example. How often when you're watching a game, pro or college, where you miss an opportunity to make a play, and then the next play, chaos happens. This is exactly that. They had a chance to score a touchdown, and they catch that football and complete that throw. This play doesn't happen. Now you're backed up. Now you got to get outside your element. You're trying to hope to shrink this in half to make it more manageable for a 4th down, but that's the difference between making the play and not making the play.
Excellent point. as now it sets Stony Brook back at 3rd and 23. They'll give it to Dempster, and he'll pick up a lot of yards. He'll get pretty much that entire fumble back to make it a much more manageable 4th and about 12.
That couldn't have gone any better for them outside of getting the first down, but now you're in no man's lane. You're going to go for it. But here's where you're going to probably try to play basketball if you're Stony Brook. You got these big physical wide receivers. Go up top, go play above the rim. Try to get one of those situations where your guy can beat their guy, and perhaps you get a penalty, but you have these big physical wide receivers on the perimeter. Go and play above the rim with this play.
Here's the 4th and 12 for Zealous. He's actually going to throw it short, and he had his man Marquise Deeds, but really didn't give him any chance to pick up that what would have been about 10 yards.
I don't think he thought it was 4th down. It felt like he thought it was 3rd down, because why would you go underneath? Because an interception or a deep incompletion is just the same. So why go underneath on a low crosser where you have virtually no chance of making it happen? I know I've been talking about how strong and physical you guys are all game, but that'll be a little bit too. We had to test him for steroids if he broke all those tackles to get to the first down. He was not getting that 10 yards that was necessary for the first.
And when he threw that ball, that's what leads me to believe, like you said, maybe he did just forget down and distance, because he didn't look downfield, and then just check it down as a last resort.
Right. It was part of the progression. He was like, okay, 1, 2, dump it off.
So Monmouth gets a 4th down stop. Man, Stony Brook has had rough luck today. A fumble at the goal line, that snap over the head of Zealous. Their defense does continue to do a very good job against the nation's #1 runner in Rodney Nelson, as he stopped short. But there is a lot of missed opportunities on that first half field already for the Seawolves.
Boy, their linebackers are tremendous. Chalmers just made that tackle. Again, nice assignment sound where he was supposed to be, wrapped up squarely and got him on the ground. It's been tough sledding for Nelson running the football today.
Midway through the second quarter, here's Robertson on play action. Had one-on-one with Neal on that far side, and more good coverage on that side of the field for Miles McGoy.
I'm a big fan of what I've seen so far in this ball game from Miles McGoy. 6'4" corner, 170 pounds, redshirt sophomore, shows you he's been in the program. And when you have that type of length, it makes any throw going his way very difficult. You will have to beat him off the snap and have a step in order to get the ball past him, because anything that's tightly covered like he has been all game, there's no passing window.
He has been impressive, and now brings up a 3rd down and 7. Monmouth 2 for 5 on 3rd downs today. Robertson looking that way again. That is a big time catch. Man, that is a physical hands catch for Neal.
And that was a great route run too, because he was able to drive him off the ball, got him to turn his hips, and then quickly snapped it off, worked back to the quarterback and received that pass that was coming about 1,000 miles an hour.
Monmouth moving quickly. First down throw goes off the hands of the receiver on the near side, Maxwell James.
Also, it is not lost on me that I saw Roland Dempster drop another ball. You know, this is a series ago. That's 3 drops by the running backs. I am keeping tabs. We'll make these running backs run extra afterwards. Can't be dropping Wilson on the ground. Got to protect Wilson.
At all costs. 2nd down and 10 for Robertson. He sends Neary in motion. Robertson going to escape the pocket. Keeps those eyes downfield. Dangerous throw. And it falls incomplete.
Last time we saw him make dangerous throws like that was inside the red zone when he threw those 4 picks against Colgate. And so he rarely puts the ball in harm's way. He's been phenomenal this year. That was a unique risk that he took.
Third down and 10. It says 21-7. We know it could be closer than that with Stony Brook having fumbled at the goal line. I just feel like this game's already had a lot of wild moments and we're in for a lot more. Here's Robertson. That is a big time grab. First down catch, Maxwell James using his big 6'3" frame.
It's a great job by Maxwell James. That was tightly covered as well. That was a throw from Robertson. It's like, hey, I know my guy's going to hopefully make this play. And he put it up high to where he can go up top and get it.
Robertson almost intercepted by Clary. Man, the nose tackle is having a tremendous first half. And Emery, he almost took that with a lot of room in front of him.
Right, he had nothing but room. He's a good athlete as well. As you saw him jump up there, drop back in zone, kind of faked his rush, got in the passing window, and knocked that ball away. Almost caught it outright, you know. So that was a huge play averted. But again, another play that was missed opportunity for Stony Brook.
Second and 10, TJ Spate in motion for Monmouth, as they'll give it to Elijah Jennings. And Jennings, physical run forward. He'll have a first down. Had a big game last week with 3 touchdowns in their win at Towson.
First bit of running room we've seen in quite some time for this Monmouth run game. Running right down Main Street. Good job. Running with great pad level. That's how you do it at practice, and it manifested itself right there in the game.
Jennings again. Head of steam, a gain of close to 4. And a whistle here. Stony Brook will call timeout.
Timeout. Stony Brook, first for the half, 30 seconds.
6:29 to go in the second quarter. We keep things here. Emery and I have been discussing how physical this first half has been. Let's send it back down to Brandon with more on that.
Stony Brook offense, they're trying to control the tempo and the game play and game flow with their physicality. But here's what they're doing wrong, and it's what Villanova and Delaware State didn't do. They're not taking advantage of some missed opportunities when it comes to taking advantage of Monmouth catching them with their guard down. So when you get into a red zone situation and you have a chance to tie the football game, or Emery, as you said, you have the chance to deliver a knockout blow on a drive off of that stutter go, you have to take advantage of those opportunities, because we see Monmouth as more of like a precision puncher. They're built to go the distance, and if you don't catch them slipping, they're going to march down the field and go score a touchdown.
Brandon, we appreciate it. Check back down with our playmaking wide receiver on the field throughout the game. Robertson on play action, looking downfield and too far, trying to hit one of his dangerous targets on that side of the field. And I feel like Stony Brook, Emery, has, I know it's 21-7, I feel like their defense has played really well.
They played really well. Absolutely right. Your assessment is true. Your observation is definitely dead on. That was a great play call, by the way, too. He was able to leak the running back through the line of scrimmage down the sideline. Store that one away. That's something that's going to pop, if not in this ball game, another game, because that's a fantastic play call.
Just a little too far, looking for Nelson. Rodney Nelson, that is. Here's Robertson. Gonna throw it to Spate. He'll make the catch right at the marker. TJ Spate, a couple of weeks ago, a huge game in their win over Delaware State with 145 yards, and kind of is the do-everything guy, I feel like, for this offense, where you could give it to him really in any way and he can be dangerous.
Again, another weapon that makes this offense so dangerous, and your special team so dangerous as well.
They do give Monmouth a first down. They send Spate in motion now on 1st and 10. Robertson gonna throw it out there. Has Spate, gonna try to break through a tackle, and he can't. Man, Chase Chalmers has been really impressive.
I like how on the sideline, Coach Callahan is far away from the team. He's like me when I was on the sideline as a coach. Like, I need to be able to see everything. And I can't see if I'm right up on it. I got to go stand back and see the offensive line, defensive line, see the setup. So I appreciate him staying far away to get a good look at it. I know what that looks like.
Getting a good look at the nation's #1 offense on another drive in the first half. Robertson gets rid of it quickly. What a move by Spate, creating space, setting up 1st and goal.
You saw the nuance right there. Quickly catch the football, make one move, then get upfield. Don't waste time tap dancing in the backfield or tap dancing on perimeter. Make a move, get upfield, get what you can, because you might pop through one of these tackles, because we know a lot of times it's weak tackle attempts that lends itself to being big scores. We saw that earlier in the first quarter, with Derry breaking a couple tackles and getting to the end zone.
Monmouth has been featuring the redshirt senior from Fort Meade, Maryland, TJ Spate, on this drive. 4:30 to go, first half. Here's Nelson, gonna put the head down and be stopped short. Minimal gain as Franco Milano and company stand up.
Franco Milano, talk about Daishia Clary, you're talking about A.J. Roberts. Those guys we've called a lot in this ball game, and they've made sure Monmouth hasn't popped a long run. So they've been doing a good job of making Monmouth work for everything they've gotten offensively. Because you can't move those guys off the spot, it makes it tougher. And I love how all three were in our camera shot right there as we're talking about them. That's perfect, because those three, along with what we've seen on the perimeter from Miles McGoy, has spearheaded this good defensive effort we've seen so far for Stony Brook. I think Stony Brook has played the best game defensively against this Monmouth offense that we've seen all season long.
First for the half.
I would agree, and that includes against an FBS team.
Correct.
And a really good FCS defense in Villanova.
Yep.
Could not agree more as Monmouth calls timeout with 3:47 to go before halftime. 21-7. Before they broke for the timeout, it looked like they had brought in that big goal line package with Elijah Jennings and company. Jennings scored 3 direct snap touchdowns a week ago at Towson. We could call that the Sonaento if you would like.
Right.
After the remarkable run he's been on here at Monmouth the last couple of years. You mentioned, by the way, a couple times in this first half, because of the size of Stony Brook's receivers, the pace of the game. You've mentioned hoops a few times. Well, might lead right into a halftime interview that we'll have a little bit later on in our broadcast here this afternoon. We'll tell you all about that coming up at the break. But Emery, here we go, strength on strength now. Monmouth's goal line. But I do see Robertson coming out, so maybe they change that up a bit, but Stony Brook's been stout.
Yeah, they've been very stout right here. This is a how much do you want to test for your offensive line? Because they haven't been consistently blowing Stony Brook off the ball. So here's another opportunity for you to get a physical win up front.
It will be the redshirt freshman running back, Elijah Jennings. Takes that direct snap, gonna march behind that big offensive line, and there is that Stony Brook defensive group again. Rodney Falk in there with Aiden Kaler.
And also Miles McGoy, a cornerback, getting in there and getting a good run fit. You don't normally see the consistency of run fits that we've seen defensively from Stony Brook. So this is something that they practice. This is not something they try to turn on today and say, hey, we're going to stop the run today. This is a mindset. This is in their DNA. It's a great job so far in this game by the Seawolves.
Now on 3rd down and goal. It'll be Jennings again, and he won't get there. He stands up originally, but the tackle's made by Farrelly and Kaler.
Stopping the run is about attitude and want to, and we just talked about how it is in their DNA and how they fit the run, how they tackle, how they attack the run game. Watch this. This was open, but then you see Kamara coming up, the cornerback, making sure he shuts the back door. Then you saw everyone else rally. That's great team defense. It's in their DNA, and it's a byproduct of them going up against a physical run game of their own in practice each and every day. So they're well equipped for this inside the green zone type of attack. If you're Monmouth, you kind of have to throw the football because they've shown you you're not going to run it in on them today.
Stony Brook will take another timeout defensively.
30 seconds.
It'll allow me to follow up with you, a point you mentioned earlier, and I agree. The way Stony Brook defensively has played against Monmouth today is the best any team has played against them all season. Really says something that Monmouth still scored 21, but I'm with you. They have played really well here, forcing 4th and goal.
Right, and then one score that Stony Brook has, obviously they should have another one. The quarterback zealous fumble going into the end zone, but that's a special team score. So Monmouth's defense has done solid as well. But man, this Stony Brook defensive effort, especially in the trenches, has been tremendous. It's been excellent to watch. And this is, again, like you said, including Villanova, including an FBS team, by far the best Monmouth has been attacked. And in some cases, punched in the mouth up front along the line of scrimmage.
We watch this Monmouth team all the time. That's why we have that context. And the fact that we're saying all that, and it's 21-7, really does speak to this season they're having.
Right.
4th and goal after being stuffed 3 straight times on direct snap runs. Here's Robertson. Back to throw on 4th down into the end zone. And it's incomplete. And the Seawolves come away with the stop. Bryson Parker, Chase Chalmers, and crew leading the way.
That's a fantastic stop for Stony Brook. And had Robertson worked back across the formation, he had Marcus Middleton, the tight end, at the bottom of the screen, wide open, but he tried to make a tight window throw. Just a phenomenal job in coverage by number 9, Demario Crawford, the shortest guy on the defense, 5'10", 195, getting in there and making that stop. That's a high level, that's a winning play right there for your defense, and what a job done by Stony Brook in that red zone situation there.
We said it earlier, right? A veteran team. There's no panic. There's no blink in this group. Down 21-7, facing goal to go and a huge stop late in the first half. This is a big characteristic of a veteran team.
If we go back to that 4th down play, you'll see Marcus Middleton wide open in the left flat. I mean, talking about he would have shimmied into the end zone. He could have did anything. Could have walked, moonwalked, backpedaled, walked on his hands. He was that wide open.
Well, and the fact that Robertson threw into a play with 2 defenders would speak to that, as we have a timeout on the field, and we'll step away with Monmouth up 2 touchdowns. Our broadcast this afternoon is brought to you in part by Jersey Mike's Subs. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Some of the pictures and scenes from the matchup last season, which was one for the ages. Mammoth defeated Stony Brook 55-47. In the process, most likely was the reason they did not make the FCS playoffs after that tremendous turnaround season for Billy Kosh's crew. And it also, Emory, along with a win over Villanova, propelled Monmouth into this season that they're having now.
Shocking that they're looking for their first win against Monmouth since 2007. I feel like one time has been flying by, but it feels like they've gotten a win against Monmouth before. But man, just crazy to see that 18-year streak running.
Yeah, they've been now league opponents a couple of different times in different conferences in each of their programs' history. As Monmouth defensively will come up with a stop on Dempster. And you know what? You said it last drive, and I think we need to even talk about it a little bit more, how good Stony Brook's defense has been. But now let's flip that outlook around for pretty much a pretty maligned Monmouth defensive unit, right? They have given up points and yards this year, but with the exception of a kick return for a touchdown today, this has probably been their best half.
Right, they're pitching a shutout in terms of scoring on the defense, and it's been impressive. Even this drive here, where Stony Brook is really just trying to run out the clock and maybe get 1 first down to further run out the clock to get to halftime, only down 2 scores. But this defense has a chance to get the ball back to their explosive offense one more time before half. And so you're seeing them match the effort and intensity. They've gotten pushed around a little bit up front, but they bent but haven't broken. So we'll see if that carries itself forward.
Is coming up at the break. Emory and I will look around the CAA. Busy day in the league today. We'll also have an interview with Monmouth head men's basketball coach King Rice. He will join me as he gets ready for another season in the CAA. Take a look at our first half stats and highlights as well. 3rd down and 5 for Chris Zealous and Stony Brook. Minute 54 and counting to go in this half. Zealous, easy pitch and catch on the right side to Jace Freeman. He scored the Stony Brook touchdown on a kickoff, and here has a 1st down.
That's exactly what Stony Brook wanted, man. That was a nice comeback route, simple. Mammoth was playing supremely off coverage, kind of yielding that for him to make that play. Thought they'd be tighter there on the perimeter.
Zealous going to keep those eyes downfield, going to make a nice move here. And we'll have a gain of about 10. No, they'll give him an extra 1.5 yards, and he'll have a 1st down.
Now they're going with tempo and pace.
Going quickly, Zealous. Freeman again, it'll stop the clock.
This is where you want your defense, in terms of the secondary, to understand down and distance the situation. They're not going to go deep down the field. They're going to try to get as many yards as they can before they have to go deep. So playing off does you nothing but just giving up free yards and putting them in field goal range.
That 1st down gain was 6. Here's Zealous, stop and go route, looking deep for Freeman. Did he get the foot down? He did. A big play for the Seawolves.
They're picking on Kyle Jackson, justifiably so. He's a redshirt freshman. They've attacked him the last couple of plays, and this is an opportunity. They ran a double move, and Jackson was in good spot, but just didn't utilize the sideline as his friend, which is what we saw on the other side by McGoy, using that sideline as a help defender. And now they got themselves in a real good position to score.
That catch would have been good on Sunday. Freeman got both feet down. A lot of room for Zealous up the middle. He'll try to run through a tackle, but brought down by Monmouth's leading tackler, Jaden Jones. But not before another good gain. Stony Brook is continuing to just chip away, Emery. And an impressive drive here late in the 1st half.
Yeah, this drive started at the 2-yard line of Stony Brook, and they marched all the way down the field against this defense and looking to put 7 up on the board.
Zealous sends his man in motion, quarterback draw. Puts that head down, and it will get to about the 11. 2 things happening here, right? Stony Brook wants to score, but they also don't want to give it back to Mammoth.
Correct.
Here's Zealous on 2nd and 5. Pressured. We'll just throw it away and live to see another down with 32 seconds remaining.
It's a good job right there by Zealous. Didn't want to force it. I know he saw the receiver working toward the back line. Didn't want to make a forced throw in a lot of traffic in the end zone, but did a good job there in making sure, live the play under down, don't make a bad play worse, and just throw the ball away.
Been a really good drive for a Stony Brook team that came away with a goal-to-go defensive stop against Monmouth, and now for 3rd and 5. Zealous looking around, nothing materializing. Now he'll make something out of nothing. Zealous keeps his feet, puts the head down to the 1-yard line. What a play by the Stony Brook quarterback.
It's a great job by Zealous, man. Just continue to find green grass and was working himself toward the end zone. They're going right back on the ball here to try to run it again.
With the clock ticking, 20 seconds remaining. Big time contact at the goal line, and Dempster will score. Roland Dempster into the end zone. What a drive and punctuation for Stony Brook late in the 1st half.
Physicality wins all the time. When you want it, you will get it. And we saw them get it right there on that drive and also on that run. Watch how they marched down the field and right here got this score. Bang! They met him at the 1.5-yard line, and the other defenders kind of watched their guy just kind of eat that tackle, that tackle, and just kind of like, hey, where are you guys helping? Didn't help him. That's not good team defense. If that was on the other side, we saw Stony Brook, all 11 hats of the football, try to make that thing happen. So this is the other side of the defense, right? Good job right there by Dempster, just kind of running through the defender. When you play against a passing offense, your pass defense may be more apt to be lockstep with an opponent. But when you play against a running physical team, on the other side, it matches the physicality. And the other team may not be able to match that. And we saw that in that particular run right there. That was just, and also the run before with the quarterback and Zealous, how he just wouldn't be denied. Somebody has to make a physical tackle if you're Mammoth.
7-point game. Here's the numbers that are going to bear out the point you just made. Stony Brook has done two things well in this first half. They've run it to the tune of 124 yards on the ground, and they have limited Monmouth to just 32 yards.
We talked about it consistently. When you have a guy in the middle, that's your Clary, number 13, the nose tackle for Stony Brook. You can't move him off the ball. He's wrecking your whole offensive run game plan today.
Now Monmouth will bring the kickoff back. Here is TJ Spate. Now Spate going to be patient. He'll get over the 20 and with just 9 seconds left. Most likely where this first half will end, and one that will leave Stony Brook thinking two things. One, they did play well, but two, what if? This could be 21-all. If you remember, Zealous fumbled as he was going in. We even thought he might have gotten in. Man, this has been a really fun, competitive game with just huge momentum swings both ways.
Even though you're down 7, you have all the momentum if you're Stony Brook going into half. I'm like, hey, man, they are not matching our physicality. We are out-toughing them right now on the field on both sides of the ball. And so that's something that say, hey, we're going to lean into that here in the second half.
Robertson will just give it to Nelson. And kind of how the first half has gone for the nation's leading rusher in Rodney Nelson. Not a lot of room to work with up front. That will take us to halftime. The number 10 team in the country, Monmouth 21, Stony Brook 14. A great first half and a great game. Wrapping up. So much more to go here at the break. Keep it right here.
The CAA is committed to educating its student athletes and fans on mental health awareness.
Studies have shown that nearly 1/3 of student athletes struggle with their mental health.
Less than half feel comfortable seeking help.
If you are experiencing a mental health condition, please know that you are not alone.
Some things we do for our mental health are go outside,
read and run, go to the beach, hang out with my teammates.
For more information on mental health resources, please visit ncaa.org.
Aha! I knew it! You are stealing my Jersey Mike's gig.
Danny, it's just because Jersey Mike's is an official sponsor of the NFL. I'm not taking your gig.
Now you're taking my look.
This is how I dress.
My glasses. I've been looking for those.
I wear glasses. I have astigmatism.
I'll give you astigmatism.
Ready for you on set, Eli.
I gotta go.
Oh. This ain't over, Manning.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Hi, my name is Derek Robertson with Mammoth Football. With NIL and revenue sharing reshaping college athletics, we need everyone's support to compete and contend for championships. The Hawk Excellence Fund is a new initiative designed to empower Monmouth student athletes through NIL, revenue sharing, and academic benefits. With the recent approval of the House settlement, this fund will usher Monmouth into the new age of college athletics and keep the Hawks competitive in the CAA and beyond. Check out the Hawk Excellence Fund today and continue to support the Hawks on and off the field.
Bring you back in at halftime with number 10 Monmouth leading Stony Brook 21-14. Competitive, physical first half both ways in this matchup that we've had so far this afternoon. Emery, Hunt, Eddie Acapenti up in the booth, Brandon London on the field. Emery, there you go. 3 CAA teams in the top 15. You know what I'm curious about? Who from that middle pack is going to make a second half of the season jump?
Right, and I think when you look at Stony Brook and how they're playing today, they could be that potential team right there. William and Mary is always in the mix because of how they are coached and how they've done. And Villanova still, you know, even though they're on the bottom part of the top 3, still trying to make their way back up the rankings. They're doing a great number today on Hampton.
And Elon and a very strong defense up there as well. And as you see the FCS coaches poll, Monmouth checking in at number 10. Could see the teams in front of them, Emery, but this past week it was announced in that first FCS playoff look, Monmouth came in at number 9. So they're going to be in the mix for a top 8 bid as this season goes on if they're able to continue winning.
I love how Lehigh is playing this year. Tennessee Tech is playing outstanding as well. So when you look at Monmouth, Lehigh, Tennessee Tech, I think those teams, despite not being from these quote-unquote power conferences outside of Monmouth, have a great chance of making a lot of noise in the postseason.
Right, it's not just qualifying for the postseason, right. It's having an opportunity for a bye, hosting a game to then get to the quarterfinals. There's some really good teams, like you said, on that page that I think people are only going to see how good they really are as the season goes on.
And North Dakota right now is taking care of business against Southern Illinois, up 28-0 right now.
Every single week, it's just so tough to win in the CAA, win at the highest level here. You said it, Villanova putting on an absolute show at home against Hampton with all the other games kicking off a little later this afternoon.
That New Hampshire-Campbell game is going to be interesting because that's one of those games where people forget about New Hampshire. They have been a solid team. They're winning. Campbell is also one of those teams in the middle of the pack that still has an opportunity to move up.
Take a look around the league. Albany hosting Rhode Island. It was Stony Brook who handily defeated the Great Danes last week. They'll be looking for a bounce back in the capital region in New York. And then that Elon, William, and Mary game is one that we'll definitely be keeping an eye on a little later on. When we come back, I'll be joined by the head men's basketball coach here at Monmouth, King Rice, on the other end of this timeout. And we bring you back into West Long Branch with Monmouth leading Stony Brook 21-14 on the football field, but need you to invite you into the press box here because it's never too early in the year to talk college basketball with the head men's basketball coach here at Monmouth, King Rice. Coach, instant energy when you come into the booth. How you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm looking at this great football game. We're up 21-14. But it's bigger than that. The energy that these kids have brought to this campus, and not just football, but mainly football, but field hockey and soccer, men's and women doing great. With this football program, what's going on with our quarterback, our running back, our receivers, our offensive staff, defense keeps getting better, and who better than Coach Cal to be running this thing and keeping everybody where they need to be.
I think people don't realize if Coach Rice wouldn't have went to North Carolina to play hoops, he was a highly recruited football player as well out of Binghamton. So we might have you hang out with Emory and I do some analysis. What do you say?
Nah, it's a different game now. It's a different game now. The shoulder pads are smaller. The guys wear short pants out there. I had on elbow pads. I had wrist guards. I had all kinds of stuff on, big shoulder pads. But it's just fun, homecoming. It's always great when everybody comes back. We have a lot of basketball guys back. I've already been talking to some football guys. I was downstairs with Miles, just what he does for the program. But I can't just talk enough about this football program. Coach Cal's mentors all the coaches here. We all know that. If you had anything to do at Monmouth, Coach Cal has mentored you. So I'm lucky to call him a friend. I go in, I watch him stressing all week. I try to get, I said, man, you got a good team. Stop stressing. But that's why he's been the head coach so long, because he sees the things that could tear you down, and then he makes sure his staff gets it to the kids. And then you watch the kids on campus and the way they're walking around. They're nice men, young men, but they're smiling all the time. They're happy. And it's easy when you're winning to be happy, but I just think that they've been that way all summer, and it's impacting our campus right now.
And it's remarkable to see, like you said, how it starts the year, and then it's great, you said, field hockey, soccer, football starting the year with so much success, then it's going to roll right into the winter, into basketball season. You know, Coach, today's homecoming, but it kind of started last night with the blue-white tip-off. The energy over in the Ocean First Bank Center was remarkable. I know you're very high on your group coming into this season.
Well, you know, what happens is everybody starts with the fall sports, and these kids been here all summer, and you get to know them. You get to know the new guys, the veterans. I've been here now, so you see the work that they put in. And then you hope that when you get your chance, our kids are ready to represent the way that we're supposed to represent. And everybody gets excited for college basketball, and it's getting close to that time. And we're excited about our team. We lost some great guys to graduation and then to the new world of college basketball. Everybody knows about Abdi and Madison and Jarrett. But the guys that stayed and the kids that we brought into this program, we're all excited about. And I think it's a group so far that has been so together, it's making us think that we can maybe make a run at a championship.
And that says something with the great teams that you've had here at Monmouth. To see that here in just October, with the season's not starting until November, I know it'll be here before we even know it. And how has practice gone with this group? You've mentioned there's veterans, players that have been in this program 3-4 years with the talent influx of some newcomers. How have they been gelling together?
It's been awesome. And the thing about it is this is by far, our most talented freshman class, okay? And I say that, and people always go, well, King, you had some, you know. This is the most talented one coming in the door, okay? When you think about Anthony, who came from France, he's played in the pros for two seasons already, okay? Then Zubair, who came from my high school, he scored over 2,000 points in high school, can really score the ball. And then Janoop, who's a redshirt freshman because he was at Portland last year, he's so talented, it's unbelievable. Now he has to learn some things, and if we can grow him up some like we normally do here, his talent level is as good as anybody's we've ever brought in as the coach here. And then Omarion Harvey from Houston is a high major kid that the high majors went in different directions late in his recruiting, and we end up stealing him. He worked out with John Lucas for the last 4 years. John Lucas has a lot of guys in the pros, so he's been working with him. And then our big guy, Steph from Greece, he plays for Olympiakos in Greece. Well, Olympiakos is EuroLeague, all right? So at 18, 19 years old, he's playing in the EuroLeague. And if people don't know, that's NBA, then EuroLeague, okay? And he was on the EuroLeague team as an 18-year-old. And then he also played in the Division II league in Greece and played with Alexander last year. And I got to watch every one of his games. I never thought we would have this kid on our team. And then all of a sudden he wants to come to college. He could have gone high major, and they wanted him at a mid-major. And just lucky that my son happened to be in Greece, and they played together, they talked, and Steph decides to come here. So that's just a freshman. But then we have a 24-year-old point guard, Kavion, that just puts a smile on your face, okay? He's going to remind people of Justin. No one's heard me say something like that since Justin's been here. But wait till you see this kid play. All right, this summer he got 71 in the Jersey Shore League. You know, a lot of guys scored numbers, but he got 71, okay? And that could happen. Things like that could happen, but he's dynamic. He's one of the best leaders we've ever had. He's leading the group already. And then that's before we even talked about Jack Collins, Andrew Ball, Doc, and Boog.
Yeah, the veterans of this group that have been around for a couple years.
And then Jason Rivera, who went to Vanderbilt out of high school and then was at San Francisco, and now everybody might know him from the TV show Swagger. And then I heard he had a dance-off last night with some kid that has 6 million people on TikTok, and he might have won the dance-off. So we're bringing eyes to Monmouth again, like that team that got us so famous years ago. I think that's the type of energy this group brings.
So we'll be very excited to watch that group grow, develop, and win throughout the season with our continuing coverage. And, Coach, we appreciate a few minutes today. Can't wait for basketball season. Thank you so much.
Well, we get to finish this great football season. We're pulling for them to win every game. It would be incredible for them to go to the championship. You know, we all know North Dakota and Montana and those schools usually run this thing, but this group right here, I think it's a special group. You see these kids, you see the difference in the size and the athleticism, and you know our head coach is one of the best ever. So just happy that I get to be a part of this campus, this energy that's going on right now. I'm very, very thankful.
And we're very thankful for a few minutes with the head coach, King Rice, here at halftime as Monmouth leads Stony Brook 21-14. Can't wait for basketball season. Come back after this timeout.
Let's talk about SAC. SAC stands for Student Athlete Advisory Committee. We get to connect between teams, communities, administration, the CAA conference, and the NCAA.
Our group is comprised of student athletes from different sports who represent the voice, opinions, concerns, and interests of our group.
CAA SAC provides an opportunity to enhance our leadership abilities.
We make an impact on our team.
We make an impact on our campuses.
We make an impact in our communities. We are CAA SAC.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Great news! World Subaru in Tin Falls is now Circle Subaru. The Circle name has been a pillar in the Monmouth County automotive community for 4 generations. You've loved us before. Now we're bigger and better than ever with our Circle Subaru VIP program with complimentary oil changes, tire rotations, service loaner cars, and much more. Plus, we continue to support our local community and Monmouth University athletics. Go Hawks! Circle Subaru, proud member of the Circle Motor Group, Shrewsbury Avenue in Tinton Falls. Visit circlesubaru.com.
Hi, my name is Derek Robertson with Mammoth Football. With NIL and revenue sharing reshaping college athletics, we need everyone's support to compete and contend for championships. The Hawk Excellence Fund is a new initiative designed to empower Monmouth student athletes through NIL, revenue sharing, and academic benefits. With the recent approval of the House settlement, this fund will usher Monmouth into the new age of college athletics and keep the Hawks competitive in the CAA and beyond. Check out the Hawk Excellence Fund today and continue to support the Hawks on and off the field.
And we again want to thank Monmouth head men's basketball coach King Rice for joining me here at halftime. Hawks lead Stony Brook 21-14. Emery Hunt, Eddie Acapenti up here in the booth. Brandon London going to join us in just a little bit. Monmouth was off and running on their first drive of the game. Right down the field, one of the 3 Derek Robertson touchdowns. But Emery, I thought Stony Brook did a great job settling things down after Monmouth went up 2 scores.
Right, you see right here the special teams play they made, returning the opening or the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown. That, to me, reignited the football team, and we saw their defense right here led by number 2, A.J. Roberts, just totally lock in and turn it on. They've been the more impressive team from that kickoff return on, in my opinion.
The Robertson score to Trey Neal, but you're right. After Monmouth went up 14-0 in this game, Stony Brook's physicality and its defense kind of dictated things the rest of the first half.
The rush yards have been tremendous for Stony Brook. Monmouth not being able to run the football has been the big key in this ballgame and why we're seeing it be a 21-14 game. Monmouth usually goes into halftime with over 100 yards rushing. Right now, 34, and it's a tough 34, so credit Stony Brook for what they've been able to do defensively.
Hawks with a 7-point lead as we bring you back for the third quarter. Monmouth kicking off to Stony Brook to begin the third quarter. Hawks took a 14-0 lead in this game. Since then, it's been a very different ball game and one that we're excited for here in the third quarter. Emery and I up here. Let's send it back down to the field. The third member of our crew, Brandon London.
Are they tugged?
We'll check back in with Brandon in just a little bit. Stony Brook, first series here in the second half. And they just ended the first half with a touchdown. So Chris Zealous and company out to continue their work. First down give Dempster. And you figure to get a steady diet of Roland Dempster here after halftime.
the game plan shouldn't change for Stony Brook based on what they did in the first half to close out the first half. Like, hey, it's about run game, it's about defense, imposing your will. Try to take as much time off this clock on this opening series as possible.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Dempster. Gets through one wave of tacklers and then unable to get through the second one. Yeah, a few different Monmouth defenders in on the play. Redshirt freshman Chris Palmer and crew in on the stop. It'll bring up third down. Stony Brook 3 out of 5 converting third downs in the first half.
This is where having the dual threat quarterback is a problem for a defense, because now it's third manageable. Him taking off and running creates a big problem for you.
Zealous will look over to the sideline. In that first half, he actually led Stony Brook with 61 rushing yards. Here's Zealous on the 3rd and 4, quarterback draw, has the first down, has a ton more, jumps over the 45-yard line. The Seawolves are moving to begin the third.
We talked about in the first half where this was an issue for Mammoth because Robertson doesn't have the mobility to create this type of scenario. So you can have everything blocked up properly or covered properly on defense, but if the quarterback breaks camp, that's the one guy you can't account for.
It's R.J. Lamar in motion. They're going to flip it this side. Marquise Dietz has a long way to go, and he'll be brought down near the line of scrimmage. That was Justin Bennett, one of the Monmouth defensive leaders.
It's the first time we call Bennett's name. He's usually a tremendous playmaker on this side of the ball for Monmouth. And it was good to see Monmouth fly to the football, pun intended, in terms of like rallying, because we didn't see a lot of that in the first half. That's where Stony Brook separated themselves on the defensive side of the ball and kind of crawled back into this ball game.
Lost one. Here's the 2nd and 11. Short throw, brought down again. Ragsdale dropped behind the line of scrimmage by Izzy Clark-White.
Izzy Clark-White, the redshirt sophomore, showing up in run support, so to speak, because again, if you're not willing to make consistent tackles in space against this particular offense, you're going to be in for a long day. And Monmouth is in the dogfight right now because of that very reason of what we didn't see from them in the first half.
After converting a third down, a much different down and distance here, 3rd and 16. Here's Zealous, does have time, pocket collapsing quickly. He's brought down, picked up, and a big man scoop by Rob Adamson after the sack from Lamont Lester.
It's a heck of a job right there by Lamont Lester to not only make the pressure happen, but finish the play and use that swipe to knock the ball out. That's the type of play this defense needed in the second half. Watch this coming off the top of the screen. Was able to get around the left tackle, bend, accelerate, close, and finish the play. And big number 97 right there from Monmouth, making his presence felt. Rob Adamson, the redshirt freshman, getting the scoop and not the score, but got enough yards where he made himself known to the fans out here that were cheering him on to get there to the end zone.
Emery, the biggest difference for Monmouth defensively last year to this year has been the play of Josiah Graham and Lamont Lester off the edge. They're 1 and 2 in the CAA in sacks. That was a big-time play from Lester.
Critical moment.
First down for Monmouth. Robertson going up top and unable to connect with Derry on first down. You know, Lester, who you've talked about on broadcasts after watching his stellar high school career at Don Bosco Prep, he's just a redshirt freshman. That play, though, the bend, the ability to not just get the sack, but force the fumble, that's an advanced level play for an edge rusher.
Right, because you can't forget the reason why we're here is because of the ball. The ball is the most important thing on the field. Go and get it.
He wears number 56, too, so, I mean, it's an old reference, but I'm an old Giants fan, so can't help but love seeing 56 come off the edge.
Right, it's almost natural, and hell, as a Saints fan, that's like Pat Swilling coming off the edge. You know, so 56 used to mean something. Nowadays, hope the young kids today bring it back. Sean Merriman, another one.
That's right.
56 coming off the edge.
That Saints linebacker core. The Saints and Giants of those eras, two of the best linebacker cores ever.
Interchangeable in terms of how dominant those four guys were.
so fun to see, and it's great with Emory too. Emory, you get to look at every level of football, whether it's high school, college, or the next level. And Sundays, as Robertson is brought down by another number 56, and a big play for Sebastian Regis.
Regis making a play here, 6'1", 260, the sophomore. Life has been made complicated for Derek Robertson, and he's not getting up. He tried, fell on his shoulder. He's writhing in a lot of pain, looks like a wrist.
The tenor of this game and potentially of Monmouth's season has just completely, potentially, been changed. And right now, everyone in Monmouth blue and white concerned for number 12.
Coach just slammed his headset, so it looks to be pretty serious for Coach to do that.
Well, that coach is Derek Robertson's older brother, Jimmy Robertson, who's the quarterback coach, the senior offensive coaches for this Monmouth team. And you could see just Robertson able to walk, but incredibly gingerly as they tend to his left side.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate. I can't tell if it's a wrist, finger, thumb, or whatnot, but he is definitely not coming back in this ball game, as we saw Coach Robertson emphatically slam his headset, which indicates not a good look. And so now, to your point, the tenor of this whole stadium changed. You can hear a pin drop.
And quickly and hurriedly warming up is Monmouth redshirt freshman Frankie Weaver, talented scholastic player from Newmarket, Maryland, who has yet to see any meaningful game action.
Okay, and it's fourth down because they hadn't changed the down marker yet. I was worried it was second down.
It is fourth down. They'll bring out Luke Schabel, but right now,
timeout, Stony Brook.
Stony Brook is the side that has to take a timeout, but just saw them walk Derek Robertson into the locker room here at Monmouth for more evaluation. Yes, Monmouth concerned about this game. More so, Monmouth concerned about what the rest of the season could look like after this injury.
Right, because we don't know the severity of what happened or what's going on, but I do know this. In this ball game, just for this game today, Monmouth not being able to run the football with consistency now puts a lot of pressure on the young quarterback to get in there and make some plays in the passing game, because guess what Stony Brook is going to do? They're going to load up and force you to make plays in the passing game. We're going to see them probably go one-on-one on the outside, man coverage, and stop the run to try to make this a Frankie Weaver versus Chris Zella's ball game. And that's a game, if you're Monmouth, you do not want to win. So Monmouth's defense has to step up, and their run game has to step up.
Offense, number 17, 5-yard penalty, fourth down.
False start on one of the outside players in coverage, Trey McClear. So yes, every eye of a Monmouth fan, and really a CAA football fan now.
Correction, Stony Brook will decline the foul, fourth down.
So Stony Brook will decline the penalty, but everyone obviously concerned with what the prognosis of Derek Robertson's going to be. But as we have to shift our eyes to the field, this is a very much in doubt, critical CAA game that Monmouth is now going to have its backup quarterback who has yet to see game action in the game. We have a lot to break down when we come back. Seawolves football down 7 on the other end of this timeout.
Great news! World Subaru in Tin Falls is now Circle Subaru. The Circle name has been a pillar in the Monmouth County automotive community for 4 generations. You've loved us before. Now we're bigger and better than ever with our Circle Subaru VIP program with complimentary oil changes, tire rotations, service loaner cars, and much more. Plus, we continue to support our local community and Monmouth University athletics. Go Hawks! Circle Subaru, proud member of the Circle Motor Group, Shrewsbury Avenue in Tin Falls. Visit circlesubaru.com.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Bone or something like that, a broken arm.
Monmouth with a 7-point lead over Stony Brook. Let's send it down to the field and check in with Brandon London.
Guys, you guys know all about momentum in a game like this. It's all about creating it and sustaining it. Stony Brook has done a great job of creating it, but they haven't been able to sustain it and take advantage of some opportunities to turn the football over. But now with Derek Robertson not even going into the blue tent, guys, he went straight back to the locker room. I don't want to speculate or anything, but he was kind of holding his left shoulder a little bit gingerly, and he kind of slapped the fence on his way out. I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to see what information I can get for you guys, but this completely changes the game, especially with the way that Monmouth likes to attack and throw the football down the field.
100% changes everything here at Kessler Stadium as Roland Dempster carries on first down. And now Emery, take us into that sideline. Now, you watch one of your teammates that you count on leave the game with an injury. You're one of the leaders on a team. What are you telling the rest of your group here in a pivotal game in the third quarter?
Next man up. It sounds cold and callous, but that's exactly what you have to say. Hey, Robertson is our leader. He's great. He's a phenomenal talent. But hey, next man up. Frankie Weaver, here's your opportunity. We have you here for a reason. You're at a Division I program. You're good enough to be here on this field. We believe in you. Go out there and make some plays. Show them why you should be playing, right? So you got to empower the guys that have got to go in next. You can't be around moping, and you need your defense to rally up and make plays. If the defense is having the right mindset, they got to come out here and say, hey, we're going to score. We're going to take control. We're going to be the offense now. So it's about, because I'm big on positive thinking, and if you think, if you believe it, it definitely happens. You can achieve it. I know it's corny, but it's true. And that's why we're seeing Stony Brook come out here. They believe they can beat Mammoth. And prior to the injury, we saw them do a great job of doing just that in terms of making things difficult for the Hawks. So if you're on Mammoth's sideline, you're like, hey, man, this game ain't over. We can still win this thing. All of our goals are still out in front of us. We got to make sure we take care of the immediate right now, and we'll worry about Derek Robertson later.
We see both Roland Dempster and Ikaika Ragsdale, both of their top two running backs in the game on this series. Yeah, the attitude defensively, right? If Stony Brook doesn't score, they don't win. With Monmouth leading by 7, we know so much game yet to be played. And this one just got a lot more intriguing and interesting around the league. And we send our well wishes and hopes that Derek Robertson is indeed okay and is able to return, whether it's today, next week, or at some point this season. Obviously not speculating anything for Mammoth. Now here's one of those big defensive opportunities for Mammoth on a 3rd down and 3. Zealous gonna keep it himself, and he'll break a tackle over that yard to gain mark to the 35, and another grinding type drive for Stony Brook.
Been very impressed with Stony Brook's offensive line in this ball game, man. With the way they've been able to create opportunities within the run game. Watch this up front. Great shot by our camera crew. Just big on big, body on body, moving guys up out the way, allowing Zealous to find open lanes to run the football through.
And not just that offensive line, but you saw number 5, Jace Freeman there, the wide receiver who scored on a kick return earlier. He blocking as well. Zealous gonna swing it out to Ragsdale. He'll try to get through one man, and Monmouth pursues him and brings him down. A nice job on that outside by Kishbaugh and also Aiden Martin.
Aiden Martin made the play. You saw him fight through that block, kept his outside arm free, forced the leverage to where the receiver had to cut back inside to where his help was, and he got off the block to go and be a part of the play. Those are the type of plays you want to see your defense start to make in the second half.
no gain on first down midway through the third quarter. Here's Zealous, long throw, catch brought down immediately. Brought down by Izzy Clark-White, who's playing a strong game at the far corner.
Great individual open field tackles is what you want to see from this Monmouth defense. We've seen them back to back. We saw the individual tackle right there, and then we saw team defense on the other side by both defensive backs, making sure that quick screen doesn't go very far, in which they did. Now you set up this third and long situation. Huge opportunity for them to get off the field.
Seawolves have converted 6 of 9 third downs. Zealous gonna look right, throws into the air, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Monmouth's Ryan Russo, and here he goes with a convoy in front of him. Russo will score! And a huge game-changing play for Monmouth's defense.
We just talked about it, defense turning into offense. The defense has to go out there and say, hey, you know what, our quarterback is down. We're gonna be the offense, and we saw them go out there, make a play, contest the catch, get the ball to pop up in the air, and your linebacker picks it off and goes back the other way. Just a great job collectively. This is great team defense. Tip passes, tips and overthrows, leads to interceptions, and look at the convoy set up. Monmouth went out there defensively and made a statement. That's how you keep your sideline locked in. That's how you make a play. Phenomenal job in the right moment. Obviously, as a broadcaster, I love it because we just talked about defense having to score, and they go out there and do it.
I'm gonna have to change your nickname from the czar of the playbook.
The soothsayer of the playbook.
Called and executed. 47-yard interception return for a touchdown for Monmouth's Ryan Russo. The linebacker Ryan Russo making one of the plays of the day for Monmouth Emery when the defense needed to pick up the offense and make a big play. Look at the coach's booth after that pick.
But it was skeptical, and then chaos ensued because they knew how big of a, now they have the cushion on the scoreboard to where they too can now, it changed how they call the game offensively. So you see them going nuts in there because that's a monumental score for Mammoth.
The score itself significant, but the reaction you see from that staff is more what that means to this game. The context of that play, when it happened, you add all that up, that's why you get that kind of raw emotion out of the coaches in the booth. They knew how significant that play is.
And you got to give credit to defensive coordinator Lewis Walker for having his guys locked in and ready to go, because they don't make that play if they're not getting the positive reinforcement from their defensive coordinator, like, hey, go out there and make that play. Lewis Walker is a phenomenal coach. We've seen him be a national championship coach as well. Came back to Monmouth and now is in his second season as DC, and that's his imprint right there, what we just saw, making those timely plays.
Back to the ground game for Stony Brook. After this game has just seen so many momentum changes. Another run for Dempster as now the Seawolves find themselves down again by 2 scores. They'll go up the middle again to Dempster, who continues to break tackles. We've seen Stony Brook gain yards in this game, but think about the big plays in this game, right? The strip sack from Lester with the fumble, the interception return from Russo. So Monmouth will give up yards, but they have shown an ability to make the big play.
All you have to be is opportunistic on defense. You don't have to be great, but make timely stops, timely plays, and you're going to be playing winning football.
3rd down and 1 for Stony Brook. Figure 4 down territory, down 2 scores as Zealous will go to the air, and it goes through the hands of his intended receiver. Now the normally sure-handed Des Williams.
I'd go for it if I'm Stony Brook. You got a team, Monmouth on the brink. You don't want to throw the momentum back out there, and here comes the punt team. So you got another good stop for Monmouth defensively. I would be wary of the fake punt here if I'm Monmouth, because Stony Brook is only 4th and 1. They've been running the football really well. They've been winning up front. Surprised they're punting in this situation.
I am too, especially with the dual threat of Dempster and Zealous. This punt from Clayton Taylor is going to be fair caught at the 30. So a stop after the interception return for the touchdown. And we'll get our first look at Monmouth's Frankie Weaver, a redshirt freshman, 6'5", 215 from Newmarket, Maryland, who is on for the, for now injured, Derek Robertson. Put up huge numbers as a high school state champion in Maryland. He has now been handed the keys to the best offense in FCS football. And he'll keep it on the ground to Rodney Nelson, who continues to find tough sledding against this Stony Brook run defense.
So what you're going to see from Stony Brook defensively is like, hey, young freshman, we're going to make sure you have to throw the football. So we're going to play tight on the corners. We're going to get that extra guy down in the box. It'll be flat across the board. And we're going to wait for you to see how long it's going to wait, how long we're going to wait for you to take a shot deep down the field. As you see right there, a tight 2-man coverage.
You can see, like Emery said, those corners right on the line of scrimmage on Monmouth receivers. Here's Weaver, and not on the same page with his receiver to the top of the screen. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Looking for Derry's way, but he ran the out, and Weaver threw the up.
Therein lies the other issue when you break in.
Offense, number 13. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Lost it down. 3rd down.
I was getting ready to bring up the fact that I'm surprised they didn't throw the flag, but I was kind of glad they did throw the flag because that was a clear miscommunication. It wasn't a situation where the quarterback was trying to get rid of the football because he was facing pressure. I hate when they do that in the NFL. That's easy. You can see intent where the receiver ran the wrong route, but therein lies the issue right there, the miscommunication of a guy that's making his first start or first play game action with a veteran receiving group.
So now 3rd and 9 after the penalty. I'm with you, by the way, on that call in that scenario. Weaver going to go up the middle to Nelson. And Monmouth will just keep the clock moving and will be forced to punt here. So another stop for Stony Brook defensively with 4:15 and moving in the 3rd.
What you don't want to do is get super conservative. I know you want to ease the young redshirt freshman in the ball game, but you got to show Stony Brook that, hey, we are able to throw the football. Don't let one bad pass, scrap all your passing plays for the young freshman, because now you have a quick 3 and out.
Here is Luke Schabel punting to Marquise Dietz, who fields it at the 20. He'll take it towards his sideline and go nowhere. Now Monmouth special teams now making a big play. Reserve linebacker Brady Hawk. 3:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. Monmouth leading 28-14, and the last time this defense was out there, a stop 2 times ago. They made it a 2-score game with an interception return for a touchdown.
We'll see if Stony Brook goes for the deep shot. I know they want to play their game. They're down 2 scores. At some point, you got to have a heat check with your passing game.
Here is Zealous, looking downfield, delivers on time to Dietz. And a big play to the 5'10 senior from Norfolk, Maryland, Marquise Dietz.
They're going to need those type of chunk plays to kind of shrink this ball game once again in terms of the score. But good job as an opener throwing on first down. They breaking some tendencies here and now right back on the ball.
Zealous to the play action, batted down near the line of scrimmage.
It's a good job right there by number 98, Anthony Johnson, 6'6", 260. I'm sorry, that's 99, Josiah Graham. Blue on gray, tight jersey numbers, all start to look the same.
Especially when the jersey gets bunched up like
Right.
that. Zealous will keep it himself. Good gain. Set up a manageable 3rd down with 3:08 and counting to go.
It's a must-have-it situation for Stony Brook.
Get a feeling, too, these drives might start to space themselves out here with both teams operating on the ground. Big hit, jarring the ball loose on 3rd down. That was a huge hit delivered from this Mammoth defense.
It's Ryan Russo, once again, the guy who had the interception, making a huge play right there to knock that ball away. Just another drop by Dempster. Dempster, I am keeping track. But this is, all jokes aside, you want to see your running back catch these passes because these are easy plays for you to make and sustain offense.
Remember that conversation we had before the game about getting hit?
Yeah, it changes things.
Man. 4th and 3 now for Zealous. He'll look left, he'll throw it complete, and Stony Brook converts as they hit the veteran tight end, Cole Benici.
That was a good job right there by Benici just to make sure to stay where he was. No need to run yourself, drift in the coverage, settle down, make yourself available, get the first down, move the sticks.
He and Neary, 2 of the more reliable tight ends in the CAA. Zealous will watch a play breakdown in front of him. He's going to take off. He's got a lot of room. Zealous will have the first down. We'll have a ton more. And Chris Zealous using his legs to set up Stony Brook.
The +1 always changes the math on defense. You can't account for him. Think about this. You have everything covered properly on defense, and the quarterback just scrambles up outside. And not only he's able to make some things happen with his legs, but he's also physical too. So you have to really bring your shoulder pads with you when you're trying to tackle him.
In his time at Hampton, he ran for over 1,100 yards and 16 touchdowns before making this move to Stony Brook. Here's Dempster breaking tackles. Dempster just so tough. Another big run for the graduate student from Staten Island.
His contact balance is tremendous. You talk about someone that is able to absorb and continue to get stronger and faster through contact. That in and of itself is a skill that not many tailbacks have, man. Right there, it slips out of a tackle and just so tough to bring down.
Great look from our crew, showing the patience of Ryan Dempster. Stony Brook over 200 yards on the ground, 95 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Motion man, it's going to be Zealous on the keeper. He'll put the head down, he'll have the first down, and it'll be goal to go for Stony Brook, trying to make this a 1-score game.
Nice response drive here for Stony Brook after what they did the last time. They punted the football on the 3rd and short, 4th and short. I thought they were going to go for it and lost that opportunity to really change the momentum and swing it back in their direction. Now they're doing a good job trying to regain it.
Zealous has Ragsdale next to him. 1 minute to go in the 3rd. Here is the veteran. Ikaika Ragsdale stood up. Monmouth defensively making a big play. Hunter Watson leading the charge.
I'm surprised we hadn't seen them get Zealous out on the perimeter in the passing game. Give him a 2-way go and allow him a high-low read or just take off by himself.
They're going to pitch it back, double reverse, and they're going to throw out of it. Wide open is Zealous. Dietz, the touchdown pass to the quarterback. And Stony Brook goes to the bag of tricks for the big score.
The great late Bill Walsh used to always say the best trick play is the first trick play, because now you have the element of surprise, and now you put the other team in the bind. They may think, okay, we can run ours now. No. Now we're alert for it. So them running this trick play first, outstanding job and timing to make the play.
Chris Zealous has thrown this season for 7 touchdowns. He's ran for 5. That's his first receiving touchdown of the year after the nice throw from Dietz.
What a great play call, too, and no one accounted for Zealous. They tried to account for him in the run game, tried to account for him in the passing game. No one definitely accounted for him as a receiver coming out the backfield. He was wide open. And what's funny about this game is the fact that we talk about a lot of times when we do these Monmouth games that how Monmouth is putting the nation on notice. Well, Stony Brook is putting the CAA on notice that, hey, you know, as we dive into the meat of conference play, we are a team you have to take seriously.
That's what we looked at halftime. There was Monmouth, URI, and Villanova at the top of the league, and then Stony Brook in that logjam of teams with 1 league loss saying, why not us?
Right. And if they're playing like this, no team really wants to match that level of physicality that we've seen them do throughout the course of this game.
They'll let this kickoff go through the end zone, especially as, you know, weather gets a little colder, and getting hit when it's 80 degrees is still not fun.
Right.
But it's more fun than when it's 40 degrees.
Stopping a run is much more fun in a day like this. It's not fun when it's hot. It's not fun when it's cold. So they're built to go through all terrains.
Right, when weather starts becoming an issue as October flips to November in the Northeast.
This is why DNA is important of your football program. If you are not a physically tough football team in terms of running the football, stopping a run, then you just can't turn it on when the weather gets bad.
Series number 2 for Frankie Weaver. And off schedule, again, Monmouth.
Ball start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty on the right guard, Shalik Hubbard. Monmouth losing Derek Robertson shortly after halftime to injury, has gone into the locker room, has yet to come back out.
And they haven't been able to run the football all game long.
Correct, even when Robertson was playing in the first half. Stony Brook's done an excellent job on the nation's leading rusher, Rodney Nelson. Here's a big play, and Monmouth starting to get its playmakers involved as there's TJ Spate on first down.
And that's a good passing play to get your quarterback in the rhythm of seeing something positive happen for him. And you saw that right there where he's going to make sure, hey, okay, I'm going to get my playmakers in football, let those guys do the dirty work, because they are definitely able to take a short pass or a short run a long way.
And we've seen Spate take plays like that, 80, 85 yards to the score, and he picks up a lot of the penalty yardage and more to set up a second down and 6. Monmouth a touchdown lead headed to the 4th quarter.
CAA is committed to educating its student athletes and fans on mental health awareness.
Studies have shown that nearly 1/3 of student athletes struggle with their mental health.
Less than half feel comfortable seeking help.
If you are experiencing a mental health condition, please know that you are not alone.
Some things we do for our mental health are go outside,
read and run, go to the beach, hang out with my teammates.
For more information on mental health resources, please visit ncaa.org.
Aha! I knew it! You are stealing my Jersey Mike's gig.
Danny, it's just because Jersey Mike's is an official sponsor of the NFL. I'm not taking your gig.
Now you're taking my look.
This is how I dress.
My glasses. I've been looking for those.
I wear glasses. I have astigmatism.
I'll give you astigmatism.
Ready for you on set, Eli.
I gotta go.
Oh. This ain't over, Manning.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Whoever said that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line never said anything about the quality of the ride. With Coach USA, you can charter a luxury motor coach for all of your special occasions. From your wedding day to corporate events, sightseeing, trips to the casino, sporting events, and concerts. Enjoy free amenities on board, things like Wi-Fi, restrooms, and movies. So to book your charter anywhere in the US or Canada, just contact our sales office today.
Take all that shit down, too.
And we bring you back our broadcast this afternoon, brought to you in part by BSI Corporate Benefits, proud employee benefits partner of Monmouth University. No lazy answers, no cookie-cutter plans. Make the switch to an independent firm. Learn more at bsicorporate.com. Here is Weaver on second down, downtown, has his receiver. A brilliant throw and catch. Weaver to Josh Derry.
Fantastic throw right there by Weaver, showcasing that strong arm that they talked about pregame. And when you look at where he places his football, where his receiver could run underneath it, create the separation, and go and make the grab.
Huge play to begin the fourth quarter. And they go right back to Derry. Chains aren't even set up, Monmouth moving so quickly. What a throw from Weaver.
That's how you get your young quarterback some confidence, man. Allow him just to wing it. You have a lead, you want to show confidence in him, let him throw the football.
Gonna keep it on the ground now with Nelson, who finds more room. And he'll have a first down. What a way for Monmouth to start this quarter.
See what happens when you allow your quarterback to do quarterback things? It opens up the entire offense. And now Stony Brook has to account for his ability to not only throw the football, but throw it deep. That was a great throw.
Trying to answer the Stony Brook touchdown. Weaver keeping it on the ground, and now you see Nelson finding more room between the tackles.
And that's starting to look a lot like the Mammoth offense that we are used to seeing. Up-tempo, fast-paced, quick hitters in the run game.
Second down and short. Weaver, Nelson. Nelson breaking tackles, and he'll get into the end zone. What an answer for Monmouth to begin the fourth quarter.
They're going to call holding on the interior offensive line. Back judge scored right as Nelson scored the football.
Holding, offense, number 88, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, second down.
They're going to call the penalty on tight end Marcus Middleton, wiping away the Nelson touchdown.
Yes. Yeah, he has that right arm wrapped around him. And it was one of those blocks where it's probably unnecessary, to where you can just get a good contact and let it go. Might have a fade ball up top, one-on-one, no safety help. Can your guy win one-on-one?
Second down and 5. Move Nelson to Weaver's left. They're looking that way towards Trey Neal. What a throw! Frankie Weaver right down the field.
Just an awesome job by Frankie Weaver, man. I love that for the young man. Confidence goes a long way. When the coaching staff shows confidence in you, he saw the one-on-one and put this ball to the back pylon perfectly for him to create that separation to make the score. So now when you look at this offense, say, hey, okay, maybe this young kid can throw the football. You almost have to remember, yeah, we recruited him here to play football for us. He can do the job that we need him to do. And that was a great drive, not only for Frankie Weaver, but for the confidence of the coaching staff within Frankie Weaver.
Absolutely. Weaver stepping in and doing it on that drive with his arm, putting that Monmouth lead back to 2 scores. That might be a touchdown that, when you look back at things, is so monumental for Monmouth in the course of a season, leading that drive, the big play early in that series, Emery, the touchdown to end it, 7 plays, 75 yards, and you couldn't have thrown the ball better on those 2 plays.
The 2 passes were elite level throws, and so that should show you, like, hey man, this kid has something within his arm that can keep this offense afloat until Derek Robertson comes back. And putting those throws on tape changes how teams now game plan your run game. Sure, teams will still dare you to throw the football. They'll still try your redshirt freshman quarterback, but they won't be as egregious in trying to do so. They still have to respect the heat check.
At least keep a safety back at times, right? Keeping things easier for Nelson. Here's the ensuing kickoff, and Freeman, who has a touchdown earlier today, not here. A huge hit delivered by Coleon Williams.
Yikes. I will say this, man. I thought Jace Freeman probably didn't see him, but watch this. Bang! Yeah, he definitely didn't see him, because that was a textbook shoulder into shoulder hit, and a nice type of response too on special teams, like, hey, we're still locked in on this game, even though we just scored a touchdown.
Well, we've seen the defense come up with a big answer on an interception return for a touchdown. Now, the special teams doing it as well with a big hit. So now Monmouth's starting to play a little bit of complementary football. The Zealous is brought down, and the defense in this second half has definitely turned it up.
This play was made by the defensive line. You see right there on the interior, number 92, Bryce Rooks, made that play possible by turning his guy inside and creating a pile-up on the interior.
As they tend to a Stony Brook offensive lineman, we get another look at that Weaver score.
Just a beautiful throw. It was almost like it was thrown as if it was routes on air. You see that at practice where you're going to put the ball out in front.
And you can see Derek Robertson is resurfaced, no jersey, no pads, and that left arm in a sling. So his afternoon is done. And then after this, the eyes of the CAA and of FCS football will be on Derek Robertson to see what the prognosis is moving forward. But as our cameras just caught, his game this afternoon is over, and it belongs to Frankie Weaver after that touchdown pass.
And that's big for Frankie Weaver, man, because, again, as a player, you want guys to have belief in you and your skill set, and it was good they showed it to him on that drive.
Hawks lead 35-21. We'll step out, bring it right back. We welcome you back. Our broadcast this afternoon is brought to you in part by the McClune's family of restaurants, proud to support Monmouth University athletics. Come visit our 3 locations in nearby Pier Village, Long Branch, McClune's Pier House with spectacular ocean views on the Robertson Ale House Sports Bar, casual price-friendly Kahuna Burger, all by the beach. The McClune's family of restaurants, a proud supporter of Monmouth athletics. So after the Frankie Weaver answer to the Stony Brook score, it's Chris Zealous and company back out with 12:46 to go in the 4th quarter. Motion man Dempster. Here's Zealous. Pocket gonna collapse around him. He escapes out of it. Flips it downfield and it's intercepted. Jaden Jones making the pick. Jaden Jones will almost get to the end zone. The entire stadium was feeling it with him and thought they had another pick 6. But Jaden Jones' pick will set Monmouth up at the 1-yard line.
You saw the intent in his eyes when he caught that interception. He was looking to score the ball. That's the mark of a defense that understands the situation, understands the assignment, peeled off his responsibility to turn the ball over, and look at him just hit that full head of steam. It's like, nah, I'm not trying to go down, I'm trying to score. Just fell just a bit short the 2-yard line, but what a great response from this defense in this second half since the Robertson injury. This is exactly what you want to see. That was a big-time play by your secondary. They have started to lead from the front on that side of the football. Lewis Walker, phenomenal job. The defensive coordinator.
The team's leading tackler, Jaden Jones, setting him up. Goal to go at the 2, but back him up. Procedure here on Chris Moreno. You see Monmouth, both teams shuffling personnel in and out, going from that goal line package to more of a conventional grouping.
Offside, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And correction, sorry, Chris Moreno, it is not a procedure penalty on the offense, but offsides, the call on Stony Brook. So now you swap those groupings back, and it's big on 1st and goal.
We'll see how much is left in the tank defensively for Stony Brook to bow up in this situation. We've seen him do it before. Can he do it once again?
It's Elijah Jennings from that direct snap. He'll take the snap, follow that big offensive line towards the goal line. I don't think he got in initially. He'll be marked short on 1st and goal.
Can't knock the effort that we're seeing from Stony Brook on defense, man. Like, they have all the reason to lay down and allow them to just push them off the spot as we see it injured. That's Elijah Jennings, a running back that's down and slow to get up.
So Jennings, the player who took the direct snap in the shotgun, down after that last play. It will be 2nd and goal when we return to the action, with Monmouth leading 35-21. A game that has featured a lot of physical play, as you see Jennings try and walk it off, including Monmouth quarterback Derek Robertson leaving with an injury early in the 3rd quarter. Coach Callahan out there helping Jennings leave the field. So he had been the direct snap goal line running back these last few weeks that Monmouth has done these last few years. Kind of started it with DeVell Jones and Owen Wright a few years ago, Sone Ento the last few years. As now they'll put Rodney Nelson back there. And Nelson will dive in for the touchdown.
I don't think Weaver was lined up on the line of scrimmage.
So Monmouth celebrating the touchdown, but an official conference, or a conference of officials, taking place around the 8-yard line.
Offside, defense, penalty declined, result of the play, touchdown.
Well, the Nelson touchdown will stand as he dives into the end zone.
He's been a very good inside runner all season long. We spoke about that as we began the football game in our pregame talk about both sides running backs. And I feel like because he's so small, folks underestimate his ability to run in between the tackles as tough as he does. And they always tend to be surprised by the time the game's over when he has so many big runs that it come right down Main Street.
See running back coach Sam Dorsett right in the middle of your screen. Call him Professor Dorsett with how he teaches the running back position. Quick drive, quick score, and they turn that Jaden Jones interception into 7.
Doesn't matter who it is back there at the top. Rules still the same. Quickest way from point A to point B is straight ahead, and Nelson does a fantastic job of not wasting time in the backfield.
Emory, when Derek Robertson went out of this game, it was 28-21. I believe it was 28-14.
It's 28-14.
28-14, right? So from then to now, as you see him in your screen there, not playing but still involved on that Monmouth sideline, Mammoth's been able to maintain that lead here with 11:59 to go in the fourth quarter. Really shows the depth of the talent on this team. Harris Freeman again. And after that kick return for a touchdown, he has found the sledding much tougher.
Oh, they're making a point to not allow him to break through that first wave once again. So now they have this 3-score cushion. It'll be interesting to see how they call this game as we watch the last interception that led to the touchdown for Monmouth. The defense has found 2 interceptions in the second half, bringing one back for a touchdown, nearly brought a second one back, and you're seeing how momentum is real. They respond, and they do a great job of building off of that, feeding off that as a team.
Going to work now, zealous in this Stony Brook offense with Marquise Dietz, and Emory with 11:30 and counting to go here on the fourth. They're in need of really to go quickly and try and get back in this football game, as they've actually gone to their bench, and it's not Chris Zealous, but instead it's the graduate quarterback Casey Case, who comes in, saw action in this game 2 years ago.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 41. 15 yards will be tacked on from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So the roughing the passer penalty called. Emory, I'm pretty surprised Stony Brook going to the bench here and bringing in the veteran Case.
Right, because I guess you still have a chance to come back in this ball game. You're only down 3 scores. But I feel like the turnovers are now looked at to be as much. Now you see the groan from the crowd. They're wondering if that's going to be intentional grounding, as the receiver ran the short route and the quarterback threw it longer down the field, which shows you can tell intent all the while.
I think we even encountered that the last game we did together was a similar play. 2nd and 10 now. Again, Casey Case has played in 15 games in his Stony Brook career before today. He's gonna throw one downfield, and that's kind of the same play with Des Williams standing in front of him and everyone in Monmouth blue and white asking for the flag.
They do not lack short memory here at Monmouth.
And there is the flag, which draws a cheer.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 7. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 3rd down.
So now after that penalty, there's the graduate student who started his career at Buffalo. Did start 9 games 2 seasons ago for Stony Brook. See Case, a more classic drop back quarterback, 6'6", 215, and he's gonna be brought down. Oh, there's the leading sack man in the CAA, Josiah Graham's 8th sack of the season, the most at Monmouth in over 12 years.
He's having himself a really good ball game on both ends of defense, and I want to see them bottle up this momentum and this energy on this side of the ball and bring it with them the rest of the way, because it's going to be a stretch where they're going to have to do a lot of this in an upcoming schedule with the loss of Derek Robertson.
Taylor on for yet another punt. Early fair catch signaled from Derry with 10:25 to go in the 4th. 42-21 Monmouth, and the feeling inside of Kessler Stadium after the last couple of series very different than it was early in the 3rd quarter after Frankie Weaver's led this team for a couple of touchdowns.
So quiet, you could hear our producer Andrew Kurtz in our ear. That's how quiet it was in the stadium when Derek Robertson went down.
It was, I've been at the stadium I've been doing games here a long time. I don't know if I've ever heard it that quiet when Derek Robertson was laying on the turf. Again, hopefully he's okay. He has resurfaced out of the locker room as Weaver's throw near side is a risky one as A.K. Kamara was bearing down.
You can still see there's some miscommunication, justifiably so. We have a new quarterback that's getting into the ball game and this experienced group of receivers. The ESP is not developed yet in that regard.
Weaver on 2nd and 10. Motion man, they're gonna give it to Nelson. And Nelson will break a couple of tackles. Farrelly in there as well as Miles McGoy, who's played a strong game for the Seawolves on the outside. He'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Since coming on for Robertson, Weaver 3 for 4, 63 yards and a score. Monmouth will bunch 3 receivers to Weaver's right. He'll look left and it'll sail over the head of his intended target, was looking for Gavin Nelson. So 9:34 to go. And now we'll see which Seawolf signal caller comes out. Figure they'll get decent field position here. Still a lot of time left in this game as well.
That's why it was so weird to go to the backup quarterback, because now you don't really, you throw off the rhythm you had offensively. I know he has thrown 2 interceptions, but that was a wasted series, last offensive series for Stony Brook.
Oh goodness, that was a bit of an adventure. Nice job by Dietz to make the catch. Had to dive for it, and Stony Brook will have it 1st and 10 at the 37. So 42-21. This game was 28-21 with Stony Brook having some momentum as Mammoth has really wrestled that away as Case comes back out.
Well, we don't know if this is an injury or just a demotion.
Right, Zealous had been 13 of 22 for 103 yards. Did have the 2 interceptions, has run for over 100 yards in this game. His Case completes it to Freeman. Yeah, might err more on that side after the 2nd interception.
Right, considering how critical it was and how it directly led to another score.
So as we mentioned, Case start 9 games 2 seasons ago for Stony Brook, completes it to Dempster. That's kind of the difference, right? Stony Brook's backup quarterback is a graduate student, older player, has been around, where Monmouth brings in Frankie Weaver with really no experience, and so far it's been Weaver to really have a nice showing since coming in for the injured Derek Robertson.
I can't overstate how huge that touchdown drive was for him, his psyche, and the confidence within him from the staff. Because, man, it looked as though when he got into the ball game, they were not going to trust him throwing the football. And now we've seen them open up a little bit more so and allow him to throw the football like we saw in that last series, which, again, you want to get these live game reps with him right now while he's in an actual high leverage game. So, therefore, it's not foreign to him when you have to rely on him next week.
Well, here's Case, not known for his legs as much. Will pull it down and run. Sasso and Evan Rutkowski in on the tackle. Just saw Dempster ask out of the game. Couldn't tell if it was an equipment issue or something was bothering him, but he ran out, and Ikaika Ragsdale ran back in. 3rd and 2. They'll give it to Ragsdale. And he won't get there. He'll be about 1.5 yards short.
I will give Dempster credit. I did see him catch that football, though. That was a great catch, a contested catch, no less.
That's a good point. There's a Seawolf down on the field with exactly 8 minutes remaining here in the 4th. And everyone from the Stony Brook sideline, athletic trainers, including head coach Billy Kosh, out there to check on it. Coach Kosh last year led the biggest win improvement from one season to the next as he took over a winless Stony Brook team in 2023. Last year going 8-4 on the precipice of the playoffs till that tough loss to Mammoth to end the season. Good to see there. That's Christian Forbes up and walking off the field. 42-21, and want to remind you that our broadcast this afternoon brought to you in part by Coach USA. As we take a look at our upcoming broadcasts, a couple of men's soccer games, a non-conference game coming up early in the week, and then next Saturday, it is a huge game between Hofstra and this Monmouth side in the CAA North Division. Potential playoff implications, home game implications in the playoffs when the Pride visit the Hawks 1 week from today. Here is Case. We'll throw to Ragsdale. A lot of room up that right side for Ikaika Ragsdale. He is tackled by Justin Bennon, but he'll have a first down.
Flag down on the field.
Offside. Defense, number 4. At penalties declined, result of the play is a first down.
So after that, another penalty. Seen a lot of defensive penalties here in the 4th quarter both ways. It'll set Stony Brook up. As again, they're operating with their backup quarterback as well, Casey Case, who came on in place of starter Chris Zellis. Four wide receiver look midway through the 4th quarter. Motion man is the tight end, Benici. Case will keep it, and he'll be brought down. Another good play. I think Izzy Clark-White, Emory, has played an excellent game at the cornerback spot.
Couldn't echo that sentiment more because his plays earlier in the second half have come in critical moments. You know, when we were talking about the edge and how it felt like they weren't sacrificing themselves for the edge, he stepped up and made 2 individual tackles, solo tackles, good force player versus the run. That's evident right there. You saw him make the play on the quarterback.
Also a 3rd running back we've seen, that's Dylan Harris, who was in on that last play. Case throwing it over the top, and it's dropped. Was looking downfield for one of his veteran wide receivers, R.J. Lamar.
Love the thought process, just the execution was a little bit off. Try to throw a touch to beat the backer that was dropping back in zone. A little bit more velocity would have been the better play there, so that way he can catch it and continue to move away from that drifting zone backer.
Third down and 9. Case will look downfield. Has a man, kind of threw it between a couple of guys. And that one looking for Lamar again. Will fall incomplete and bring up 4th down.
Obvious 3-touchdown game. They're going to keep their offense out there, try to get the first down. You got to think of your best player in this situation and get him the football. Yep. You can't think play or scheme or anything like that. Just, hey, who's our best guy? Go and get him the football. Split safety look, probably going to see a seam throw here from the offense.
You might think about a man like the motion man there, Cole Benici, the tight end. As Case looks down for Benici, and it's knocked away. Monmouth's defense has played itself quite a half. Justin Bennett will knock it away. Turnovers, they scored a touchdown. They've been very impressive.
And that was a seam throw that we kind of thought they were going to throw. They rotated the safeties to try to confuse the QB, but he's a veteran guy. Just a better piece of coverage right there by Bennett, who, again, kind of hybrid safety linebacker guy. He plays that viper position. But at the end of the day, you saw him be able to cover. He has good athleticism, good length, and made a play right there to get them off the field.
Yeah, I feel like so many times defensive backs, linebackers make that play, and then there's a flag. And the reason you see the flag and you didn't there, that off arm wasn't pulling, right? He did a great job keeping that arm free.
He trusted his athleticism to make the play.
Here's Weaver. Oh, and that throw is short. And a big-time flying tackle by Chalmers, knocking down Spate.
And if you're at home wondering why they are throwing the football still, it's because you got to get this guy some live game reps. You know, this is, if you're just joining us, Derek Robertson was knocked out with an arm injury, and he's out for the game, and redshirt freshman Frankie Weaver comes in. And this is his first game action of the season, so you kind of have to give him reps throwing the football against a live defense that's not his own, because you're going to need him for a nice stretch of the season the rest of the way.
Excellent point. And so keep it on the ground to Rodney Nelson, who runs into a wall of Stony Brook defenders. And you know, Emery, it puts a premium on the players around the quarterback. And that trio of wide receivers who happen to hail from the old Lion State in Maryland, and we know what they're known for, this crew will be counted on more than ever to help support the young quarterback.
And the cool part about it is that you don't have to get them the ball deep down the field. These are not vertical deep threats, although they can be. These are guys that you want the ball in their hands. So Jeff Gallo, the offensive coordinator, will have to get into his creative bag and figure out ways to create explosives with those three guys.
Those 108 yards per game for Derry, by the way, ranked 3rd in the country as the nation's leading rusher gets free. Rodney Nelson into the open field will seal it for Mammoth.
I mean, there's not much you can say, man. You talk about someone that's listed at 5'9", 185, but we know he's probably close to 175. But you watch him step out of that tackle and just hit the afterburners to get down the sideline, find that second gear, and hit the home run. Just a great job by Rodney Nelson right there. Nice blocking up front, steps out that tackle, and it's off to the races. He digs deep, finds that second gear, and will not get run down by a defender. Excellent job to put the exclamation point on this victory for Monmouth.
73-yard score for Nelson. You can only bottle up great players for so long until they have moments like that.
Yeah, great players are going to great at any point in time in the ball game, and that's why you want game breakers like Rodney Nelson on your football team. At some point in time, he's going to pop through one of those lanes, and it's going to be all she wrote. We saw him stay patient, stay committed. Once the outside lane opened up, he will not be denied. He was going to score. He's been itching to do that all game long, break that long run, and it happened for him at the right time, the right moment on homecoming.
And the former all-conference offensive lineman for Monmouth, who's been at, I mean, they've had 33 homecomings. Jeff Gallo's been at a lot of them. He's probably going to give me a little bit for that. But he feels it, especially after your quarterback goes down, to see that and for the team to respond the way they did. Man, that shows you have a good football team.
Yeah, a team that is mentally tough. And it shows you why they've been able to win these consecutive games, being the hunted for multiple weeks at a time. You have to be mentally tough if you're going to make plays like that.
This kickoff will go out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds by the kicking team. By rule, the ball be placed at the 35. First down.
So that's where Stony Brook will have it. But after that most recent Rodney Nelson touchdown, you know, Emery, between the interception return for a touchdown that kind of set this Monmouth sideline and crowd up to be like, okay, we're okay after our leader just went down, to the answer from Weaver and that passing touchdown that he had, to that play from Nelson. Obviously everyone concerned and well wishes go out for Derek Robertson, but the vibe in the arena, the vibe in the stadium right now, very different from when it was early in the third quarter.
Oh, it was dead in here.
Yep.
With a packed crowd. And rightfully so, because you don't just lose your starting quarterback. That's the part that I wish folks out there understand. Derek Robertson is just not the Monmouth starting quarterback.
Another good play on that outside.
Intercepted. It's not just the Monmouth quarterback that they lost. This dude is an NFL player. So
right.
You lose a legitimate star, especially with how he was throwing the football today in some of these plays, some that counted, some that didn't. It's like, this is the one that you have to really know why folks were really quiet and worried about him going out.
Third Stony Brook quarterback in. This is Quinn Boyd.
Oh.
Boyd down that sideline. What a grab by Lamar. One-handed catch on that far sideline.
Okay, R.J. Lamar, the graduate from Long Island. I see how you want to make plays, and if you're the coaching staff, you notice stuff like that. Hey, we're down 27 points. Who's still out here trying to make plays?
Well, Des Williams will put himself in that category after that play. Boyd, a redshirt freshman from Livermore, California, delivering this on-time throw.
Oh, my goodness. While being accosted by the Mammoth defender.
The point you made, though, before that great grab, I think holds true, as Boyd will escape pressure and take a pretty big shot. But the point you make, I don't think can be overstated enough. It's not just your starting quarterback.
Right.
It's, we've talked about it on these broadcasts so much, what he means to this program on the field, off the field. Hear his head coach talk about him, just the business-like leader that he is. And the response from the team to see that, I mean, encouraging is not a good enough adjective. It's really been something for Monmouth to see that makes them feel that the season's not stopping today. They've got a lot of really great football left in them, and they're going to move to 6-1 with a win today.
And that's where I was going to bring up at some point during the broadcast, but with the injury, you kind of scaled back on it. But that's why this team felt different in terms of how far they can go long-term in the postseason. Because this team, this offense, legitimately was point-a-minute offense. Anytime they had the football, you just waited for the touchdown, whether it was going to be a long play or a long sustained drive, but they were going to get a touchdown. And so now you can't have that same thought process without him out there. So that's how significant he was for this football team.
Boyd and throwing it behind Lamar. And then look today. Still putting up 49 points.
But you know that doesn't tell a story.
28 of which came with Robertson.
Right.
Right? So I think the interesting thing will be what this team looks like next week, right? With Frankie Weaver having a full week of practice, what this offense looks like. You know, they can do it both well, run it and throw it, but does it slant more to a Rodney Nelson game?
Right, and how healthy is Elijah Jennings? And does he see more in terms of carries in a run game?
As Boyd will be dropped by Spencer Kishbaugh, who's played himself quite a half.
This defense has played itself quite a half with how they've responded, turned the ball over twice, done a good job getting after all the quarterbacks that Stony Brook has thrown out there, and has made numerous plays in critical moments. So if you had to give a game ball to someone, it probably was going to be defensive coordinator Lewis Walker and his defense, because they really answered the call and made this win possible for the Monmouth Hawks.
Big plays, a scoring play, turnovers. It's been their best game of the season by far. And you look after today, Monmouth with 5 games remaining, 3 of which are on the road. The next 2 weeks, they go to Hampton and Bryant before coming back for a matchup with New Hampshire, North Carolina A&T, and Albany. After that, 2-minute timeout, 49-21 Monmouth.
As an official sponsor of the NFL, Jersey Mike's wants you, Eli Manning, to be our new spokesperson.
I'm in. I love Jersey Mike's.
Hold on. Jersey Mike's new spokesperson? You're stealing my job.
I don't want to steal anything.
Lies. Eli's.
I just love these subs.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's very prompt.
Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hey, that's my line. A sub above.
Black Bear Nation, let's ride.
Go Tigers.
We are Hampton U.
As one. Fly Hawks.
Tap the rock, baby.
Hey, Geek Pride.
Roll Hawks, baby.
Phoenix Rising.
3 more feet. Good try.
Go Dogs. One team, one heart.
Hi, my name is Derek Robertson with Monmouth Football. With NIL and revenue sharing reshaping college athletics, we need everyone's support to compete and contend for championships. The Hawk Excellence Fund is a new initiative designed to empower Monmouth student athletes through NIL, revenue sharing, and academic benefits. With the recent approval of the House settlement, this fund will usher Monmouth into the new age of college athletics and keep the Hawks competitive in the CAA and beyond. Check out the Hawk Excellence Fund today and continue to support the Hawks on and off the field.
Live look in the Parton Broadcasting Center over in the Ocean First Bank Center. Everyone, you have to wave. You can't not wave. It's homecoming, and Monmouth with a big, there we go, a big 49. They're too busy working, actually, to wave 49-21. That's the crew who not only produces this game, all the games here at Monmouth, those upcoming games you saw coming up. And like we talked about at halftime with Coach Rice, hoop season right around the corner, starts earlier and earlier every year. I feel like we've been doing this a couple of years, and the season starts a week earlier every year, and that crew will have all of the Monmouth men's and women's home basketball games covered.
I'm a big college basketball fan, man, so I can't wait. I love just watching random games of college basketball because it's just a fun game. There's no real expectations unless you're watching the high leverage ones, but just any random game, just especially early in the season, so fun to watch.
The games that people, I don't think, the ones between the start of the year and Thanksgiving to me are always the most fun.
Right.
And then that's when people kind of, I think, come into college basketball, Thanksgiving time.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 73. 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Matt Fries called for that penalty. It's not just football and hoops, soccer, field hockey, as we talked with the commissioner, Joe D'Antonio, about that. Not only the CAA plays at a high level, but they do that here at Monmouth. So a lot of these, really every home game is broadcast here, and that's the crew that does all of the behind-the-scenes work. It sets Emery and myself and Brandon up and our entire Monmouth Digital Network crew under the direction of Andrew Kurtz and Ann Toner. We appreciate it.
I always get asked about who does Monmouth games because they always appreciate how the broadcast looks and sounds, you know, and for them that are watching the broadcast that gets to see the who definitely makes the why even more impressive, right? And so I think that's where a lot of people are are tipping their caps to the Mammoth staff to what they're doing in terms of putting these broadcasts on, producing these broadcasts, directing these broadcasts, and how it just separates itself from everyone else that does these type of broadcasts around the country.
Well, you and I talked about it with Brandon before the game, right? We were getting ready to do this broadcast, and all of us work all over, right? I'm here a lot, you're here a lot, and Brandon's been here more recently. So, but we get to see a lot of the work that goes on in the region, up and down the East Coast, and I know we've said it to each other before. Whenever the assignment comes for here, you just know what you're going to get, and the quality. You know, you get someplace in to have everything pretty much done for you.
Right. Well, it's easy in terms of people. I'll say this: people don't appreciate the value of having constant replays. Because not everybody gives you replays, and not just replays.
Multiple angles.
Bingo.
Yep.
Because you can say, oh, man, that was a great play. Then you ask for a replay, and they send you a shot from the parking lot. It's like,
well, even before, right, there was the play with Zealous on the goal line.
We got right down the line.
We had clock to 1 minute, 10 seconds. 1-1-0. Thank you.
We had an angle, and then quickly 2 others that showed the whole story of the play.
Which I'm glad I didn't ask, because I was like, well, this is clearly a reviewable call, but we probably don't have replay today in terms of an official capacity.
Right, we do.
We do.
1 minute remaining here in the 4th quarter. Schable on again. This one of his higher efforts. He sometimes will let that ball hit and roll on more of a line drive punt, but Dietz with the fair catch, with just 51 seconds left. You know, we were talking at halftime in a 21-14 game about a Stony Brook defense that had really asserted itself in the first half, and that they had the momentum. And then from that point to now, what Monmouth has done defensively, running the football, what Frankie Weaver has shown, has changed the entire complexion of this game, how everyone here feels about this number 10 nationally ranked Monmouth team. And now 5 games in front of them before the FCS playoffs to continue to prove.
Right, you got to win. You got out of here with the dub, and now the fan base can kind of take an exhale, enjoy homecoming, and then worry about next week and the injury next week.
Throw to Ragsdale. It's still Quinn Boyd at the quarterback position. Mentioned it already after today. Monmouth's final 5 games, 3 of them will be on the road, including the next 2 weeks at Hampton and Bryant. And then 2 of its final 3 at home. New Hampshire, North Carolina A&T is on the road, and then they end the year November 22nd against Albany. It was a fired throw in there from Boyd. First down to Kareem Hector. Oh, excuse me, that's number 49, Justin Richard.
Redshirt junior from Hempstead, New York, Long Island Lutheran High School.
Boyd will go in the flat to Ragsdale. This will drop Stony Brook to 3-4 and 1-2 on the season. Monmouth will improve to 6-1, 3-0 in the league. Monmouth's only loss on the road at FBS Charlotte in a game that, quite frankly, I was watching that game. I thought they thought they were going to win. I know I thought they were going to win as well, as this is deflected away. So a team that's unbeaten against the FCS here in late October.
Yeah, and that game against Charlotte would have put them in a different stratosphere. We're probably now talking about a top 5 team in Monmouth had they won that ball game. But so is life in the FCS. And this is still a very good win, an important win, because I think this win shows more about the psyche of the football team, and that's something they can kind of bottle up, build on, moving forward, and come out on the other side a better unit for it.
Yeah, and we saw that as the clock will run out throughout this game. We saw a Monmouth team get contributions from every facet, offense, defense, and special teams, in a convincing homecoming win for Kevin Callahan's Monmouth Hawks, 49-21 over a very talented and well-coached Stony Brook Seawolves team. We saw Rodney Nelson have the big second half. We saw Derek Robertson leave early in the third quarter, but not before a big first half with 3 more passing touchdowns. And Stony Brook outgained Monmouth. I can't remember the last time an FCS team outgained Monmouth. But
they out-turnovered them too.
The story of this defense this afternoon, Monmouth forcing 4 turnovers and a big 49-21 win on homecoming. Monmouth, as we said, 6-1 now on the season, including 3-0 in league play. The number 10 team in the country. Emory keeps rolling along.
Yeah, and listen, 4 out of 5 inside the red zone is huge for Monmouth, and that right there to me was the difference in this ball game. They made the most of those opportunities, but those 4 turnovers, is what really turned the tide in this ball game, especially the ones in the second half. One was a pick 6, one almost was another pick 6, but I think that was the key in this ball game for Monmouth.
It was, and after the Derek Robertson injury early in the third quarter, you said it. What now does the team do to respond? Who steps up? And I think we saw multiple players take that and step up and show us in the second half that they believe that, yes, one of their teammates is down, but they are far from done.
Right, because you don't want to let the nation know that, hey, this game is all about, or this team is only about Derek Robertson, although he gets a lot of the headlines, justifiably so. But, hey, we make plays too. You know, we are part of this football team as well. We are another reason why we're undefeated in the FCS. So I like the fact that they went out there and made an emphatic statement. Now, you got to remember, yes, this was this game, and you did a great job in responding to adversity, but keep this energy and move this forward. This wasn't just a one-time thing.
No, and for the number 10 team in the country, the goal was